There, Jesus. I think I'm here. Am I here? Wow. Is it working? There it is. There, Jesus. Got to get used to this new format, man. I tell you what. I didn't realize I hit the live button, but I'm supposed to add myself to the broadcast. So that's a little bit different. Yes, the duck is back. The duck is going to be there. I got to get used to the duck. I don't mind the icon of the duck. I just wish it didn't say powered by StreamYard. And I'm still trying to figure out what does a duck have to do with with StreamYard. But hey, it's what's happening. What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Friday night vodka stream. What is happening? What's going on, guys? Thanks for clicking in. There's the vodka. Back with the vodka this week. That's right. Took a break from it. Had some Jameson last week. And but now I'm back on the vodka. So cheers, guys. Welcome. How's it going? Troy, Jester, Stallone, Men in Tights, Venom, Joshua. Oh, so good. So good. What's happening, guys? Wow, what a week, right? Jeez. And I apologize, too. I should have had a podcast up already. I still might record one maybe tomorrow. I just haven't had time. But I recorded a podcast. I know. Where's Amanda? It's always where's Amanda. I haven't talked to her. I should have texted her. Maybe I will text her right now. But yeah. So basically, what happened is I recorded a whole podcast Wednesday night, like I usually do, like I try to do. And as I was clicking, I accidentally deleted the whole file. So therefore, the entire podcast was erased. Yeah, good times. Really good times. Drinking an energy drink. That's cool. Hopefully it's morning time for you. So, yeah, it was, it's been a long ass week. Well, not really. Work has gone by, but obviously there's certain things that's happening in the community. My God. Jesus Christ. I'm telling you. That's why I titled the stream Snyder 214. Because apparently, guys, running a poll of where everybody would be at if Warner Brothers were to release a Snyder cut like this weekend. I just wanted to see if what would everybody prefer, like a 100% shorter cut, an incomplete 214 cut, or just all or nothing. And yeah, kind of stirred up a lot of conversations from very loud people, which is great. Joker, Deadpool 3. Yeah, you're probably right. You're probably correct. Yeah, it does suck, man. Yeah. I'm at one step. I'm actually with you. If I were to vote on the poll I had, I would want the full 214 incomplete. I mean, if they were to release like a 3-hour cut that's fully complete, I definitely would watch it too. And so would everybody. I think everybody would watch that, but we'd still push for that full cut. Yes, Jose, I'm not a fan of Mark Hughes either, but the fact that he turned around, went on Twitter and not apologized, but admitted that he was wrong and was putting some information out there, my God. Dave, what are your thoughts about Deadpool Disney situation? Well, yeah, I did a video about it and I made fun of the situation. I keep saying it. They have to keep it rated R. They have to keep it rated R. Yeah. I don't know. Once Upon a Time in Deadpool was cool. I enjoyed a lot of it. I like the back and forth, the Fred Savage part more. But no, they have to. That's why I'm wearing my Deadpool shirt, by the way. Disney needs to show that they have balls, man. If you're going to have, 38% of the film industry, you have to have R-rated content. You have to have R-rated content, man. Come on. It's a no-brainer. You have to have that. Gary Sanders reacted to the Titans Season 2 trailer with an agenda. Yeah, I also reacted to the Titans 2 trailer, and for some reason, I got a copyright strike on my shit, so that's why you don't see a video. If you're looking for my reaction to that trailer, yeah, it got pulled, and I got a copyright strike. I tried to reach out to the person who did it, the email that was provided, and I have not heard anything back. Because apparently I think what happened was they released it too early, and I reacted to that early version, and then they started pulling it. They started pulling everything, and I got a copyright strike, dude. Yeah, it's been a long week. It's been a rough week to wake up to a copyright strike, and then, just the infighting, and then just people who were once I thought were cool with me, kind of throwing shade at me now. Crazy. Sharon Tate's death should have been in that movie. No, it's fantasy, man. Come on. How was Scary Stories? Scary Stories was good, man. Like I said, it was like a souped up Goosebumps movie, or Are You Afraid of the Dark? Well done. I didn't like every aspect of it, but for being a PG-13, quote unquote, like kids horror movie, pretty well done. I mean, you got Del Toro helping out with that shit. Who's throwing shade? I'm not going to go into that. Like I said, hopefully, I mean, it's not too bad. We've talked with DMs and in the DMs, and hopefully, I don't know. I'm going to have a guest on. We'll probably talk some more about that. Yeah, I'm not going to start talking about it. Why didn't I see Dora? Because I'm an adult. Even though Dora, I still find it weird that they decided to do a Dora the Explorer movie, and the actress is like 17 years old. It's just weird to me. It's like, I didn't know Dora the Explorer was supposed to have boobies and being like in the middle of puberty. Like, what the fuck? It's just a little strange to me. But that's Hollywood for you. The movie is about what it's about, dude. What? What are you talking about? Red Dot Story. Oh, okay. So, yeah, okay. Garza busy selling cars tonight? I don't know. No, I don't think he is. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see who shows up. Speaking of boobs, where's Amanda? Well, like I said, I could text her right now. Let's see what happens. See if she shows up. She might not. Let's see. Here, I'll even take a picture and send it to her. I'll take a picture of the chat. Oops, not that. I'll take a picture of the chat just for you, Stallone fan, showing what you just said right now. Oh man, I lost your quote. Say it again. Now. There you go. There's the picture right there. Let's see if I can get it, and I'll send it right to her. There you go. There. She just got sent. Fucking Bryce Harper, man. Jesus Christ. Sorry, I'm watching the Giants and Phillies, and Bryce Harper just hit his second home run. God damn. Fuck. Hey, Dave. In your opinion, is Jeff Johns ripping off Snyder's style for the shows, or is he paying homage? Hard to say. Yes, I did expose you. Hard to say, to be honest. Because I've heard a bunch of shady shit, and the fact that Johns really didn't like Snyder. And then the fact that Titans is just so tonally like Snyder. It's kind of weird. It's kind of interesting. Yes, you're ruining my night there, Mr. Charles. Shit. This is a good game, though. This is back and forth. I mean, Giants tied it, and then they took the lead, but now Harper just hit one into the fucking ocean. God damn it. There was a 300 homage in Krypton. I saw that. I still have yet to watch Krypton. I need to catch up on that. What's going on there, Mr. Ovidio Mejias? Sorry, I'm bad at names. I was trying to summon my my Mexican side. Penis envy. What's up, Russ? What about the kitchen? Supposedly ruin the kitchen by cutting out an hour. Yeah, the kitchen is getting destroyed by critics. It's not going to go anywhere. Football season, that's right. It's infinity. It's here. It's exciting. I like football. I love watching. There's something great about waking up on Sunday, getting on the couch with a cup of coffee and watching football games, and then looking at fantasy football because I play fantasy football. I'll probably be in 2 leagues this year, and it's always just fun to do that. Swamp Thing is good. Yeah, I'm still gonna try to finish it. I'm gonna finish it this weekend. What's up, Hunter Chamberlain? Cheers. Have I seen The Preacher? I haven't seen The Preacher yet. It's another one I gotta watch. The kitchen looks boring. I mean, it didn't really grab me. It's just weird how they have like two comedic actresses trying to be serious in that movie. It's really weird, especially Tiffany Haddish. It's like, all right, is anybody going to take that seriously? Because she's always never a serious character. But then again, maybe it's like she was trying something, but it's like yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I heard Preacher is great. Don't worry. Oh, you're an Oakland Raiders fan? I don't really have a football team, but I just like watching football. Oh yeah, I remember hearing that, Clay, that it was like, oh man, looks like this one might be attached to Man of Steel, but it's more of an homage. Who'd you have as Cavill's replacement? I don't know. That's like I said, when you put me on the spot like that for casting or fan casting, I can't. My mind goes, oh, I don't know. I think it should be another unknown because Cavill was pretty unknown. I still remember one of my first videos that I did on this channel was when they announced Henry Cavill, and I called him Henry Cavill. Hey, what's up, JVS? Hey, well, welcome. Cheers. Welcome to the show. You never know what's going to happen on the vodka stream. I start getting lit, I have people that show up unexpected. What's up, Giovanni? I know. I don't want Cavill to be replaced. He's too perfect as Superman. No, you never know what's going to happen on here. Surprise guests. Sometimes I get a little too liquored up and I start rambling. I start doing impressions. I start singing. It's all good stuff. Hey, Dave, why do so many people defend Judas Johns, the guy who clearly is a snake? Like, well, I think people need more information about it. I've heard from people that he was just a piece of shit. So, and I believe those people 100%. So, but I can't sit there and convince anybody that he is a piece of shit. I can't do that. That's the bad part. When you have like a source that can be unnamed, I can't just go like, well, this guy said it. I can't. People need actual proof, and which is fine. I totally commend that. I agree with that, to be honest. But like I said, when my source has been correct on other things, like about the Snyder Cut and stuff like that, it's like, hey, maybe start believing it. Casual Bane, vodka stream. I heard the phone. No, it's not Amanda. Hold on. Maybe it is. Nope. She hasn't responded yet. So who knows what's going on? She might be out and about. She might be on a date. Stallone fan, I'm sorry. Who knows? She might be on a date. For all we know, out partying it up. Army Hammer's Booster Gold. I could see that. I've always liked John Krasinski, though. Dave Christopher Walken as casual Batman. Why am I wearing this mask? And the eye makeup is getting in my eyes. It's so sweaty. I can't do it. There you go. No Amanda Revolt. I tried. She's cheating on you. Yeah, you have Belinda. Don't worry. I don't know where Belinda is, though. I'm sorry, Russ. I know you love her so much, but you never know. She might show up. I mean, if she has her kid tonight, which could be the case, she might be trying to get her into bed. If she can get her kid to bed, then she'll come aboard. Don't worry. Gotta have more cowbell. Thoughts on Kevin Conroy's old Batman in Crisis? I think that's great. I think that's absolutely fantastic. When I heard that news, that's why I did a video. I mean, For Kevin Conroy to do the voice of Batman for like what 25 years now, 25 years, animated series, which will always be great. Batman. It'd be great if they brought back Batman the animated series. I was hoping they would with the DC Universe streaming service, but the fact that after all these years, he's going to do a live action Bruce Wayne, it's going to be phenomenal. I think that's fucking fantastic. Yes, Amanda is a mom. She has a 3-year-old. It's not mine. I don't think. I'm just kidding. Bill Burr, Dave Chappelle. I actually agree with that. I like both. Dave Chappelle's great, but I'm a big Bill Burr fan. Love that guy. He actually inspired me to do my podcast. Dave, do you still go back and watch BVS trailer to recapture a feel good? Sometimes I will. So I remember how fucking awesome that shit was, man. Shit. Yeah, I died. Wait, god damn. This chat like jumps way too much sometimes. It was a lot. It was a lot. I asked Kevin Conroy and the guy that voiced Terry who they would cast. Uh-oh. Nope, that's not her. Sorry. We'll see. Hey, Dave. Jason, the photographer dude, hung out with Chris Enos for a while, and he knows some shit, and he's let it slip. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Jason, I've talked to him personally, too. Ah, shit. Phillies score again. Damn it. Now, I talked to Jason, and yeah, he's heard the same shit, too. That's the thing. That's when I see like people like go like, you cannot fucking throw shit at Jeff Johns. And I'm like, yeah, I get it. Jeff Johns, he's written some great comic books, done some great work for DC. But when it comes to the movies, that guy can just sit the fuck down, please. The rumor is that there is a 214 cut. Well, not like that. I did it like a biblical thing. You know, like Job 3:14. You know, Snyder 2:14. So 2:14. It's not 2 hours and 14 minutes. Wait, Amanda? What the hell? No, it's not her. Sorry, buddy. I thought she showed up. I was like, what? Okay. Yeah, fuck the Phillies. Dave, you going to any cons this year or next year? I'm going to be at D23, guys. I'm going to be at D23 with a camera asking Marvel fans about the Snyder Cut. That's going to be interesting. With Justin, midside. I found out an Aqua Mark Wade. Uh-oh. Okay, hold on a sec. Where you at? Okay. Dave's going to be at D23 flashing people. Hey, don't tell him my secret. Yes, I'll be walking up with a trench coat, wearing nothing underneath. Hey, Mr. Hardboiled, check your DMs. Who's Mark Wade? I don't even know who that is. With Midsight, right? I was talking to him about Snyder Cut. Yeah. Me and Mr. Midsight and I are going to be there, Justin. Giants suck, Dave. Let's go Dodgers. How dare you? Well, my dad would, wearing a trench coat, tucking it in. That's right. Would you fuck me? I'll fuck me. MCU fans don't care about their own Marvel movies. You think they care about? That's the point. Let's get their opinion about the whole thing. That's what I'm talking about. It's the fact that we're going to be talking to more Marvel fans, but I don't know. It's just going to be interesting to see what they have to say. What, the Movie Marks guys are here? Where? I don't see them. Are they here? Dave, Jerry, what? Yeah, uh-oh. There he is.
Hello. Hi, how you doing, guys?
You're here.
Yeah.
What's going on, buddy? Yeah, you're good.
All right, that's good. Awesome. All right, better camera, better lighting,
Look
everything.
Look at you. Look at you upgrading your shit, man. I'm proud of you.
Yeah. And it's funny because for the longest time, I was so sure that this laptop didn't have a webcam. And that's why I always used the crappy camera on this busted up phone. And lo and behold, you say, "Oh, I got it. We got to do it on this stream thing, and the StreamYard thing." And StreamYard will not allow me to connect with YouTube, to use the YouTube channel on my smartphone because I haven't hit 1,000 subscribers on my channel yet. Hint, hint.
Start subscribing.
So apparently I was like, screw it. You know what? You can hear me, but if at the very least you could hear me, but just not. But there you go. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, the movie marks are here.
Yep. Movie marks guys are here.
Yes, this is what I look like. I hope it is not a disappointment.
Womp womp. Just kidding. What's going on, Eric? How you been?
Never better. You?
You know. It's been a rough week.
Yeah,
it's been a long, I know you've been thrown in the trenches too, my friend.
Yes,
I appreciate the support. I mean, I think we're all supporting each other at this point. But we just gotta, I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever. Whatever.
Yeah. Us in the alleged 40 club.
Yeah, you're the newest member, apparently.
Yeah, apparently. I'll tell you something. Do you know what the difference is between the 40 club and the Snyder cut?
Huh.
The Snyder cut exists.
Oh, okay. I like that. I like that. I know.
Yeah.
It's
seriously.
Yeah.
Seriously, like there's this nonsense about, why aren't you policing the other members of the 40 club? It's like, well, what are you talking about? Well, these guys, they're attacking Stemot's kid. Well, who?
Yeah, I know.
And they point to this
for attacking kids.
And they point to these couple of schmucks that I never even heard of.
Me neither.
And
might have seen them on my mentions, but that's
it's like it. And I may like have briefly seen them a couple of times, but I certainly not enough for me to remember them. And yet apparently I'm some kind of we're somehow lumped in with them.
I don't know.
Oh, John Hoskins, you wish I was gay.
Jeez. I think that's wishful thinking. Yeah.
Sorry, dude, but you're not my. Sorry, dude, but I don't think of you that way. Look, whatever you want to do in the privacy of your own home on Pornhub or whatever, that's your business, not mine. But I don't think of you that way.
Right.
I mean, I'm sure you're a great guy, Hoskins, but I don't. Seriously.
I don't know. He's always on Pornhub, so God knows what he's looking at. No, but that was a weird one. How we got tied to attacking children, which was weird.
Yeah.
And it's like I engaged on that because I was like, "What are you talking about? That has never happened."
It's like you're guilty by association. What association? I never even heard of this guy that's attacking kids. I never heard of him.
It's a weird spin. And then with everything else, and with Kevin Smith saying what he said, and then of course Mark Hughes what he said, it's all good. It's all really, really good. I mean, Kevin Smith's quotes. I mean, I got the notification on Google. It was on Yahoo. It was everywhere. And people were shitting on it. I'm like, why are we shitting on this whole thing when it's like, this is a really good thing? Kevin Smith has been supporting this for a while. He's been saying that they should release his cut for a while. And the fact that now he's talked to people, and you better believe that one of those people was Ben Affleck. I mean, Jesus Christ. They must have talked. I bet you they sat down and talked. And Ben Affleck was like, "Yeah, you don't even want to fucking know what happened." Because it was. I mean, and that's what the whole thing with what Garza said a week ago or whatever the fuck when he's talking about 2 weeks ago where Affleck was upset with Snyder. I mean, it was the whole thing of just because Affleck did not want to do the reshoots. He was there for Snyder's shit. He didn't want Whedon's shit. Yeah. So he was upset that Snyder walked away and that people didn't fucking want to just walk out and be like, "No, fuck this."
And honestly, and seriously, I'm sure you have never been briefly angry at a good friend of yours.
Oh, I know, right? Yeah. That's what happened.
And seriously, and I remember like writing this long, and as you know, I wrote this long post. It was like, guys, what's the big deal? Like the way everyone was talking about it, and yes, the way John Aaron Garza had been hyping it up beforehand, I was afraid it was going to be some kind of Me Too thing with Zach. And lo and behold, he reveals what it is, and it's like, that's it. Ben Affleck was briefly ticked off because Zach didn't fight as hard as Ben wanted him to. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm disappointed.
No, and I get it, but see, I mean, and you know, do I always agree with how Garza can hype up things? No, but at the same time, I still love the guy. I still love the guy. I still like talking to the guy. I love looking at his work, you know, and I'm sure, you know, we're always never going to agree with approaches for everything with anything. Yeah. You know, but at the same time, I'm not going to sit there and go like, God damn it, you know, and I'm just like, you know what? All right. If he's going to do it like that, that's fine. Yeah. I actually was sitting back for a lot of the stuff, you know, and then all of a sudden I get pulled into it. And then it's funny when I get pulled into it. But then this week it was my turn, apparently, to start the shit, even though I wasn't trying to start the shit. I think it was just after I did my video about the Snyder cuts, you know, with Mark Hughes' stuff. You know, I was like, okay, for some reason, like after I posted that video and I sat on my couch, I went, you know what? I want to know where everybody's at. I want to see what this poll, and I knew it was going to start some shit. I knew it was going to. I didn't think it was going to be like, you know, full on meltdown and some weird shit to come out of it. But I just wanted to see like where everybody was at. Would you, if they were going to release the Snyder cut this weekend, would you prefer a 100% shorter cut, an incomplete full 214? Or, you know, everything or nothing. And I know you even did like a different one because you wanted
totally different.
Yeah, you wanted to clarify it more, which I got, because I know people were like, I want what Snyder wants. I'm like, well, this is And I was hoping that people would realize that each one, if it was the shorter 100%, it was Snyder approved. Everything would be Snyder approved. I thought that was a given, but apparently a lot of people were like, no, I want one. I was like, it's a given. It's whatever he approves, because he has to approve it. I mean, as of right now, if they were to do another edit, he would still have to approve. He would still have to either be like, fuck it, I don't care. Or he'd be like, he'd have to be involved, even if it was like a cut for an airplane.
Yeah. All right. Oh, before we go on,
okay.
Here's the plain speaking and clear understanding.
Cheers. Cheers, buddy. What are you drinking?
Same as before. Ginger ale in a champagne glass because I'm Batman.
Yes, you're classy like that. I like it.
Yeah.
Just next time you take a drink, just put your pinky out.
Yeah, whatever. I'm not that far gone. Then people will start. Then more people start thinking, "Is he gay?"
It's okay.
Not gay. Just incredibly, let's say, theatrical.
There you go. You're animated. It's fine.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, by the way, Hunter Chamberlain just asked me, so tell me, what are some of the rumored things in the Snyder Cut I want to see the most? Also good to put a face to the dude. Okay, well, this should come as a surprise to no one, but the whole subplot of Lois that was completely cut out with her and bringing the coffee to the cop, the Jimmy Olsen cop, and so on. The real scene between her and Martha, and apparently in the IMDb credits, there's a neighbor of hers in the apartment complex or something, which would be interesting. But just the whole, and I'm also very interested. Look, as far as exactly why, like how Lois was there at the end of the Heroes Park battle. Like, was she brought in by Bruce, or did she just happen to be there?
No, and she wasn't brought in by Bruce for sure. Because I mean that whole big guns thing was just dumb.
Yeah. Now, granted, like when I first heard that that not just the big guns joke, but the whole idea of her being part of Bruce's plan was Whedon, I was a little disappointed. I was like, wait a minute. So she just happened to be there like a Lois Ex Machina or something. But then Zach showed us those storyboards where it's a regular thing with her that she regularly, like every morning or so, goes to the Heroes Park Memorial and says, oh, there you go. So there's a nice little setup. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
And who knows? Maybe Bruce knows about it or something. And I would imagine Bruce doesn't show up at the Heroes Park sequence at first for a reason. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, we have 3.5 hours of shit that we don't know fully. I mean, and then we saw, of course, the coffee shop that she goes to. We saw that. I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of things. What's up, Karan?
Yeah.
Thanks for joining. But yeah, so the whole poll thing, that was cool.
Yeah,
and course,
yeah, because
mainly people were like all or nothing, which it's an interesting thing because it's like all or nothing. So, but at the same time, I'm going, but if there's a 3-hour cut that was released, you're telling me that you wouldn't watch it?
Yeah, and I'll tell you this, I put up that poll in part because, look, guys, let's think about this hypothetical scenario because, like you pointed out, nothing is going to get released without Zach's approval.
Of course.
So what if, and I was taking Chris Wong Swenson's theoretical scenario of the studio doing a theatrical release of the 165-minute version, the 2-hour 45-minute version, doing a theatrical cut of that, and then maybe like putting the money from that into
thanks, D-Lund. Sorry.
Yeah, into finishing up the 214-minute version. So I put that scenario to the test. I says, guys, let's say they were to do that. They were to theatrically release the 165-minute version and specifically announce that they were going to release the full cut on Blu-ray, just like with BVS.
Yeah.
And to put icing on the cake, Zack Snyder is part of the publicity tour.
Yeah.
And endorses the whole thing. Would you accept that? And now, fortunately, like 60-something% so far, like have said yes, we would accept it. Good. I'm surprised, and a number of people saying no, and they're saying no, never compromise. But what, guys, read what the scenario I laid out. Zach is a part of this. Zach is endorsing this.
Yeah.
In this hypothetical.
What sucks too is like, I mean, if Snyder would have stayed on and the whole thing would have came out, they would have had him cut it down no matter what. The theatrical version of Justice League would not have been 214. They would not have released that. They would have cut it down to a maximum of 3 hours. Hopefully they would have kept it at 3 hours. I mean, the whole 165-minute thing, I didn't even know about because I was blocked by Mark Hughes and I didn't see Swenson's tweets. Seriously, I just said shorter version. That's all I did. Then all of a sudden it was just like, now all of a sudden I'm going to be head of a 165 club. And I'm like, what the fuck, man? I can't win. Like,
jeez.
I didn't even know about that. Thank you, Andy.
Seriously.
It just got crazy. And then, of course, you know, the whole thing with Rollins. But you talked to him. I even talked to him in DMs.
Yeah.
We worked it out. But at the same time, I think it's still on shaky waters because even today I saw a tweet where he kind of almost lumped me in with like the non-believers. He didn't put any names, but he mentioned like, you know, the shorter cut and then of course the 40 million. And I'm like, well, that's all from me. And I'm like, come on, man. I mean, why? It's just it's frustrating. That's all. Yeah. Because I've supported Will, I've donated, and I've had nothing but civil conversations. I've met him in person, and it's like, come on.
Yeah. Yeah, Jose brought up an interesting point in the chat. It says the problem is that the bloggers and the critics will say you already got your Snyder cut and then mock the 214 cut saying it doesn't exist, blah, blah, blah. Well, I'm not worried about that so much because heck with them. But I will say the issue that the one argument that people bring up that I think does have that I can see their point in against the scenario that I bring up is that it would be exactly a scenario like BVS where the critics pretty much only see the theatrical cut and then trash the theatrical cut. Maybe they cut out too much in the theatrical cut or something. Yeah, now, I would imagine that Zach, in cutting the 165-minute theatrical cut, he won't make the same mistakes twice, and he would make darn sure that the 165-minute cut still makes sense.
Yeah.
and flow a lot better than the BVS theatrical cut did.
Yeah.
But like but still, like that being said, you know, like he does everything in his movies for a reason. So there's that. Having said that, look, and I've given this a lot of thought, even long before this, even when I was thinking about the BVS theatrical cut, and when we're talking about director's cuts in general.
Yeah. In
an ideal situation, both the theatrical cut and an extended director's cut have value. And I'll explain why. And I'll explain why with the classic example, I keep prepared, of the Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings. Now, when it comes to Lord of the Rings, I actually saw the extended cut of Fellowship of the Ring first before I saw the theatrical cut, and I was a little bored. I was a little bored because I was a little restless. Like, when are you going to, like, is this going anywhere? But then I saw the theatrical cut, and I was like, this is a great movie. I was gripped. And then I saw the extended cut again. And to this day, I only see the extended cut. And the reason for that is simple.
Yeah.
The reason for that is simple. In an ideal situation, like with Peter Jackson, a theatrical cut is organized specifically to flow as a great first viewing. And so that people will not be restless, and it will be a taut, streamlined plot, and that you're going to the next plot point and you're gripped all the way. Now, and in that scenario, the extended cuts are for if you've already seen the movie and know how it ends, and now you can relax and enjoy everything else. You can hang out with the characters more. You can enjoy the atmosphere more. Yeah, and that's the scenario.
I agree with that. Yeah.
Oh,
Mr. Colbert. Look who's
doing. Nice to meet face to face at last, so to speak.
Yes. What's up?
Yeah.
How's it going, man? Now we were just talking about cuts.
Yeah. So like
cuts,
bro. Yeah.
What do you mean cuts?
Yeah. I don't know. What are we talking about here? I don't get it.
Well, it's like this. Well, we're talking about theatrical cuts versus director cuts, and let me pitch this to you, Stephen. Because I pitched it to Dave and I pitched it to the chat. In an ideal scenario, it's not the theatrical cut was screwed up and the director's cut is the good cut. In an ideal scenario, we were looking at a Lord of the Rings situation where both the theatrical cut and the extended cut have value.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is the theatrical cut is a taut, lean, streamlined plot where you're watching it and you're gripped to the very end and you're never restless to see where this is going.
Mm-hmm.
But and then in that case, the value of the extended cut is having already seen the movie and knowing where it ends. From that point on, you want to absorb the atmosphere more, you want to hang out with the characters more, and you want more stuff. So the theatrical cut is best to see the very first time. And from the second viewing on, you see the extended cut. And in an ideal situation, that's what I would like this situation with the Snyder cut to be, where the 165 cut is the taut, lean, streamlined plot that still flows beautifully. But once you've already seen it, you can now hang out with the characters more with the 214-minute cut. Now, maybe I'm just being a little hopeful, and that in reality, it would have been just another BVS situation where the theatrical cut is a mess and the director's cut is the only good one. But really, I don't know. I'm pretty sure Zack Snyder doesn't make the same mistakes twice.
Yeah,
at the very least, he learns from his mistakes.
I think that.
By the way, I love how everybody always calls you faux film gob. Stephen,
why is that?
Because have you seen what film gob looks like? You guys.
Oh, he's wearing the beanie and the beard or something.
Beard, yes. Yeah. You guys.
Well, I do not make videos as well as him. So
funny how
I guess that's why I'm the faux film gob and he's not the faux Colbert. Is that what's up?
Pretty much.
Do you make any videos at all? Do you make any videos at all?
Sort of, but nothing that no fan videos. I mean, I do marketing videos for other non-movie related stuff. But no, I think what you're saying is a sort of really important context of everyone's thinking about this in terms of BVS and Justice League of the theatrical cut is butchered, and the interesting thing about Lord of the Rings is that notice that's called the extended cut and not the director's cut, because like as you pointed out, those are really like the pacing is worse in the extended cuts. They're not really
not necessarily worse so much as it's too relaxed to be a good first viewing.
Right. Well, what it is it's like the fan service cut.
Yeah.
Right. Like not.
It's more from the book. It's more from the book.
Yeah, exactly. They put more stuff in there for like that's like fan references, but like really like I don't know. There's some things that are nice that are added, but really nothing is added. That's like it's not like BVS where it's like everything suddenly makes sense. It's all just like it's like what is it like 30 minutes extra or whatever of like Easter eggs mostly.
Yeah,
and it's all cool, awesome stuff, but it's Easter eggs. And that's what the case with the Snyder cut would be.
Yeah,
but
hopefully,
because
like in an ideal situation, I hope like if the scenario that I mentioned in my poll and Chris Wong Swenson talked about, if that scenario is what happens, I hope to heaven that the 165 cut it's like Lord of the Rings, where the theatrical cut is meant to be your first viewing, and every viewing after you see the full 214-minute Snyder cut.
Yeah. Well, and I don't know, the idea, the nature of the 165-minute cut, the reason that one's more complete is because that's what he was working on at the time that he left. The stuff that's in the 214 had been abandoned long before, and so they so they quit working on a lot of that stuff. And so then, which there's a longer rant about that I don't have to go into right now. Of course.
I mean, what was so crazy about it, it's like, obviously we know that if Snyder stayed, there's no way that Warner Brothers would have let him release that 214.
Right, exactly. And the other thing is, just since we're courting controversy here as it is, I would love to see the 214 cut. So I guess I'll start it with like that's the cut that I want to see. That's probably the one that would be my favorite.
That is the end game. Yeah, that is the end game.
Exactly.
That is always the end game. It has never been anything else.
Here's the thing that I've always thought about the 214 cut that I don't know that I've really seen anybody else mention, at least not like publicly, is that, well, it's more of an opinion, but it's an exclusive opinion though, is that, well, like you said, it would have never have been the one that was released in the theaters. But I think that even if it wasn't the one that was released, if the 165 was released in the theaters, I don't think the 214 would be the ultimate cut either.
Really?
The reason I think that he put 214 on the posters and circled it is because there's a number of obstacles to getting people behind the Snyder cut. And one of them is, does it exist or does it not exist? And the other one is, how different is it, right? And so, of course, like the brilliance of like Snyder and the way that he markets this stuff, he's not going to put 200 on that. He's not going to put 165 on that. He's going to put 214 on that. Why? Because that's what did we measure? Like 2 hours plus of like unseen footage.
Yeah,
that is a argument for like people say, oh, it wouldn't be that different anyway. It's like no, you put 214 on there. That's a drastically different movie. Yeah. Now, if we didn't need to prove that it was that, because he's never even made a movie that was that long before, and maybe this is the exception. So I'm not going to say like it's definitely not the case.
Yeah,
but he has an incentive to inflate that number, and besides, even it's through the process of finishing it up and adding credits and everything, I highly doubt that the runtime, like the official runtime, is probably not going to be 214. It's going to be It's going to be 230. It's going to be 210. It's going to be around there. But
it's just where that's where it's at right now.
Yeah,
I would like for it to be more personally, but like I don't know. Yeah. I really don't necessarily see the logic in he was doing it as a marketing ploy, because I myself say I don't think he would have been had given so specific a number like 214 without rounding up or rounding down if it were not his exact number. Well,
there's something memorable about, and that's a trick that people use. Someone ever told you like, we'll meet back here at 12:37, and it's like, well, why 37? It's like, because you'll never forget that. And so the significance of that, what strikes me about it is like, so like why reveal the runtime at all? Like, what's the value of knowing the runtime of Justice League other than him just saying like it exists? the value behind him revealing that is to reveal, like, one, there's a cut so he knows specifically, you know, how the scenes are ordered, but two, it's to know that, like, no, we're not talking about a 10-minute longer cut. We're not like talking about a 20-minute longer cut. We're talking about a hour, 2 hour, hour and a half longer cut. That's the importance of revealing that. And so once you kind of look at it from that perspective, well, yeah, that's why you're going to say 214. Now, if it comes down to negotiating, you know, as with, you know, BVS has a longer cut too. Why didn't he go with the longer cut for the ultimate cut? Well, he thinks that the 200 or the 183 minute cut is had the better flow, and so that's what he went with. But if we didn't know the runtime, you know, like I said, there's an incentive there. So I'm not saying I'm not advocating for
that's something I kind of brought up too with the fact that there is a longer BVS cut. I mean, we've even seen
the 4 hour.
We've seen images like of Clark more. I mean, it was Clark heavy, and this is one of the things I was thinking about when it came to the BVS longer cut. Which was
I want to see that.
Huh?
I want to see that.
I think we all want to see that. But the thing
honestly,
is, I mean, I remember when we heard those rumors that Warner Brothers wanted more Batman. Remember that, like, a long time ago? They're like, "Oh, we need more Batman. We need more Batman." We kept hearing about that, and I guess we were assuming that they were going to do some more pickup shots to add more Batman. But what really happened was they removed more Clark. I mean, they really did. If you think about it, you watch the Ultimate Cut compared to the theatrical cut, there's more Clark. And then when you see some of the images that we've seen behind the scenes or whatever of Clark on his laptop at home, Clark in bed.
Yes.
I mean, there's so much of Clark Kent that got removed.
Lois waking him up. Waking him up. I sure would have loved to see that scene. And honestly, this would have been another Lord of the Rings scenario where the Ultimate Edition, what we now know as the Ultimate Edition, would have been the perfect theatrical cut because it flows so beautifully that those 3 hours just go by like that.
Oh yeah,
and yet,
way better.
And then,
well, I think Watchmen is the perfect analogy because you've got the director's cut, and then the ultimate cut is the longer one. But he's like, I prefer the director's cut, but the ultimate cut has all those cool fan things in it.
True.
Yeah, it would have been, again, a Lord of the Rings scenario where the ultimate cut was like the Watchmen director's cut and all that. It's the perfect theatrical cut, and you also have an extended cut, which is more for the stuff, more for the fans, and in my case, more Clark and Lois fan service.
Yeah,
just saying. But I'll say this before we go on, Steven. You know that a whole bunch of folks are going to get on my case for not getting on your case for, like, are you suggesting that Zack Snyder was lying?
It was
lying so big.
Yep, that's what's going to happen.
Everyone always assumes that, like, I don't know. Everyone takes everything he says, interprets it a specific way, and then when someone says, well, maybe he meant something different, they're like, are you saying he was lying? It's like, no, I'm saying that, like, he said something and you interpreted it one way and maybe he meant it a different way. Like, we all, like, you look at, like, he said it's done and everyone's like, oh, it's done. And then, well, no, now we know that, like, there's at least two times specifically that he's specified the background and that cyborg shot was temporary and that dark side scene is only previs, which, by the way, previs is not partial viz. Previs is like, it's a digital storyboard.
Yeah.
It is, they haven't even started
and the chopping up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Diana, like, chopping off Steppenwolf's head. What did Zack Snyder? Zack Snyder specifically said this was never finished.
Right, exactly. And so, does that mean that he was lying when he said it was done? No, not at all. It just means that the interpretation that done means 100% is wrong. How do I know that? I know that because of what Snyder said, you know,
he shot all he needed to shoot, and he edited it the way he wanted it to. Yeah. Basically, he did everything that was responsibility to do.
Yeah, everything that's in his power, he has done. I agree with that 100%.
Yeah, the filming and the editing is 100% done. That's what he meant.
Well, that's
everything else, like the music and the VFX, that was still, like, other things in the studio.
Yeah. Well, people keep on talking like he can finish the VFX because and I feel bad because, like, that's something a rumor that I started way back when, before I started, like, researching VFX and like talking to VFX artists. But no, like, Stone Quarry is not a VFX house. They don't keep VFX artists on staff. Yeah, he knows some VFX artists, but we're not talking about, like, a guy in Photoshop during the afternoon correcting something. We're talking about we're talking about matte painters. We're talking about texture designers, we're talking about animators, we're talking about modelers, we're talking about compositors. Like these are all different jobs, and all of them are hours and hours of work to put one of these scenes together. And those people don't work for Stone Quarry; they're going to work for a VFX studio, and they're not going to be paid by Zack Snyder. Why are they not going to be paid by Zack Snyder? Because that's a more expensive part, and they're going to be paid by the person that's keeping the profits. Like if Zack Snyder is, he's not going to be keeping more of the profits of the movie than Warner Brothers is. So he's not going to be putting out more of the expenses than Warner Brothers is. That like people are saying that he's going to finance the finishing of the cut. That doesn't make any sense at all because he's going to be losing money on the sale of the product. I don't know. So
it's all so freaking up in the air, and like when everybody's when I've gotten that too, where it's like, oh well, he's got his own production company, they're gonna invest, and I'm like, are they? I mean, right now they're kind of invested in a whole other movie right now.
Right. Well, and they don't have like a ton of cash on hand. Exactly. What they do is they raise funds.
Production company, they raise funds.
The production company has like a skeleton staff most of the time. When a movie comes in, they raise funds from other financiers. They bring on a staff of contractors. They do all the work, and then when they're done, then all the contractors are done also. But the money that he raises, then those are all investors, and they need to be paid back. And so once again, the people that are going to be making those financial commitments are going to be the ones that that the money is going into their pockets to pay them back. If Snyder is making a commitment to refund, or not to refund, but to compensate an investor for whatever their percentage of the earnings are. Oh, hey, nice.
Of course.
Then we got 4 people in here.
Oh.
Yeah, we got a
hello.
But yeah, if
hey, it's Matt.
It's not going to come out of his pocket if it's not going back into his pocket.
True.
So,
how you doing, Matt?
What's up, guys? I was just editing.
Nice poster behind you. Is it circled?
Yeah, it's actually circled. It's the official circled poster of the Snyder movement. Apparently,
that's the funny thing about this is like. Is the two of you the reason that the info about the 214 cut is even out there? Because he told Matt at SnyderCon, and then Dave's video is the one, like Dave did the video where he stole it from you.
No,
the Ringer article. Go to the Ringer article and check where it talks about the 214-minute cut. Click on the link, it goes to Dave's video.
Yeah, that's fine. That doesn't matter. I told Dave, so hey,
yeah, exactly. He walked up right to me and he goes, "Hey, look at your poster." He circled something, and we all like crowded around. It was like an unveiling of like a fucking treasure map. Like I just unrolled it, and everybody was like, "What the fuck?" And we looked, 214. Holy shit! And it's just like all of a sudden everybody was like, "Look at this! Look at this! Oh my god! And we just all started kind of freaking out. It was really fun. It was really cool.
Yeah.
It was good. It was good times.
It was.
Circle around the world, and I'll tell you this: the whole SnyderCon thing was the very definition of must investigate further. Cheers, Matt.
There we go.
What are you drinking, Matt? Anything?
I didn't have anything. I was editing a video, and you guys. So I just started listening to this, and I'm like, oh, fuck it, I'll be here. I could bail out and grab something.
It's always me. I'll start listening, and I'm like, I'll have that on in the background while I do some other work. And then like 30 minutes later, I'm like, I'm not doing any other work.
I know, that's what happens.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Speaking of which, Stephen, what are you drinking?
I am drinking a Founders All Day IPA.
You're drinking a what?
Okay,
an IPA.
Okay.
Yeah,
you love those IPA.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the hipster, the embodiment of a hipster.
Pretty much.
No.
Yeah.
The glasses, the beard, and the freaking beanie doesn't. Nah. What are you talking about? But what do you think about everything that's been happening this past week, Matt? Like, I'm not even talking about the infighting too much. I'm talking about more of like Smith's comments, and then of course Hughes coming around and actually admitting that he was wrong, which is a good thing. Which I thought that's what we wanted from these guys. What do you think about it?
That was the Hughes thing was the most interesting thing to me. I actually did a little meme joke on stuff about when pigs fly. Bloggers will admit they're wrong. And so that was kind of a thing. And I don't know, I thought a lot of people would appreciate it a little bit more that he just flat out came out and said my information was incorrect.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the thing. Go ahead, Eric.
I mean, to be fair, he's still blocked. He still has me blocked.
Oh, me too. Whatever.
But that's the thing that I think we were saying for a long time is like, and I know because I've been on sort of both sides of that fence. Is that, yeah? Well, I don't personally have any connections at Warner Brothers, but I know people that do, and multiple of them would reach out for various confirmations or whatever, and for Warner Brothers, like hierarchy, like from the top down, are adamant, per the same thing as like with the Wall Street Journal article, they say it doesn't exist, and so the execs say it doesn't exist, and then the people under them say it doesn't, and like this, it's not like every single person in the company knows the status of the cut. They know there's like 5 people. I'm exaggerating, but there's like a handful of people being
less than 40
with my. Yeah, less than 40 people that know the status of the cut, and then we're talking out of like thousands of people in the company, and they're all under NDA and they're all pressured to not say anything. Many of them don't even work there because they're not actually Warner Brothers employees. They're Zack Snyder's employee, or they're Zack Snyder and Zack Snyder's collaborators, and they're all gagged. And then
meaning
within
like an
Warner
NDA,
Brothers,
not actually gagged.
Yeah, exactly.
Who knows? Who knows?
So if you ask Warner Brothers, you ask any like producer over there or whatever, they either have been told it doesn't exist, and so that's what they say, or they know of the state, but they are towing the line on behalf of Warner Brothers, and they say it doesn't exist. And so unless you talk to somebody who worked on the movie, who's for a VFX company or some third party that's willing to say something, or you talk to someone in Zack Snyder's camp, that's the only way you're going to get an accurate description of what it is. And even in that case, you talk to like a VFX artist, you're talking to somebody or a company that did like a few scenes, and then if you talk to a specific person, they did like a few seconds of that scene, depending on what their job is. So
Chris Wong there with release the employees.
Yeah. Right.
Well, yeah. The thing with Mark Hughes for me, or for Hughes, real quick, just for Hughes, was that a while back when the Pattinson thing was going around, he was actually full on in that article admitted that he had sources saying that Ben Affleck wasn't going to leave at the time and that Pattinson wasn't in the running. And he went by those sources, and they were high up ones according to him.
Yeah.
And he was still uninformed on the situation. Obviously,
right.
It was either a red herring, or they're controlling. WB is trying more than ever to control the narrative.
Well, that's the interesting. We'll go ahead.
Well, that's just the thing to me. And now he's realized even more lately, especially him, because he's the one I've seen pointing this stuff out. Now he's realized even with the Snyder Cut, he had incomplete information, as he put.
Yeah.
So it's I think it's becoming a revelation for him at least, and I'm pretty sure soon they're going to follow that the information they're getting from sources in WB are controlling a narrative more than anything now, and they may not be so reliable as they thought before.
Well, exactly. Yeah. I even did a video about it. I'm like, why, like these big bloggers, why these voices are saying that the Snyder Cut doesn't exist? Why Scoopy Pants and all these guys?
Yeah, and it's not like it's not like they're lying about it for their own agenda. They trust their sources because their sources have been reliable on other
things. Areas. They give them like casting news or whatever. They tap into them. They say like, "Hey, does the Snyder Cut exist?" And they go like, "No, it's absolute bullshit." And then that's good enough for them. They're like, "Okay, sorry guys." And then of course they'll put some dickish kind of Twitter.
Yeah. Well, and their source isn't even necessarily lying. A lot of times their source is getting their information from somebody else. They're not talking to someone who watched the edit. They're talking to somebody who works in marketing, who talked to a line producer, who knows, who wasn't even on the project, but, talked to someone else who was, but because they're part of the ones that screwed it all up, they're spreading that narrative. And so you kind of trace that back to the person that's getting it. The Pattinson thing really was a revelation to me in the way that information spreads in Warner Brothers, because you saw there was a bunch of different names coming out. And the Armie Hammer thing happened, and then that got like immediately debunked, but then all of a sudden he was kind of in the running.
Yeah, I was told 100%, oh, it looks like Hammer's going to get it. That's what I was told.
Exactly. By multiple people too. I heard that from multiple people.
I was like, okay, Hammer, it looked like it's going to be Hammer. And I was for it. At first I wasn't, but after like seeing him in other things and just kind of, I came around.
Do we even know if he was actually even in the running from the start? Or is that just the name?
He was considered, but part of what brought him up, from what I've been able to gather, is that is that there is there's sort of some jockeying within different actors camps. Like my understanding, what I have sort of heard is that Pattinson actually leaked to, or his agent or whoever leaked to Variety, I think is the one that originally published it, that he had the role, and he was like in the running against Holt at the time.
Yeah, because that happened like 2 days before official, right? Or a couple days.
Exactly. And so then Variety ran it, and it was sort of to push it over the edge to kind of get the reaction out there.
Smart. Very smart.
Yeah, exactly. And then he just kind of rode the wave from there. And
it was pretty perfect too, because he was at Cannes getting praised up the ass.
Exactly. But you saw the second that came out, all of a sudden the Hollywood Reporter comes out and they're like, well, it's not final yet. Holt is still in the running. Armie Hammer's name has been thrown around.
Yeah.
And so it's not just like the actors and their camps that are throwing out information or misinformation for the sake of setting a narrative or getting something out of it, but also like within Warner Brothers, I think different departments will have their own agendas for what they're looking for. Like marketing, for example, they're going to be more interested in like Armie Hammer than they are going to be in Robert Pattinson, because Armie Hammer is going to be easier to market, right? Yeah. Right. Whereas Matt Reeves or whoever's going to be more interested in Pattinson, or someone else is going to be more interested in whoever's cheaper. And so as a result, they're going to spread information out there in order to kind of generate buzz on behalf of their favorite horse. And that was kind of crazy seeing that all unfold with Batman.
What's up? Of course, if they really wanted to play up the publicity of their casting, they would cast Kristen Stewart as Catwoman. And they would play that up. They would play it up like this. Batcat, still a better love story than Twilight.
Room for Batgirl, and I was like, oh. But I mean, for one thing,
Catwoman. It's got to be Catwoman. It's got to be Catwoman, because Batcat's still a better love story than Twilight, and she looks very catty, honestly. Catty. You know it. I know it. Everybody knows it's still a better love story than Twilight.
I've come around on Vanessa Kirby 100%. After watching Hobbs and Shaw, I was like, okay, I get it now. I didn't get it at first because she had such a small role in Mission Impossible, but after I saw her in Hobbs and Shaw, I was like, okay, this woman can carry it. She's a badass and she's not faking it. She doesn't. It doesn't show that. I mean, she is faking it, of course, but I'm just saying she like puts it out there that she's like, because there's some other, sometimes you'll see an actor or an actress that just tries to give that vibe and it just doesn't work. You don't feel it. But when it came to Kirby and Hobbs and Shaw, I was like, okay, I could see it. And she's got those piercing eyes, and that's what you want in a Catwoman. Just saying.
The reason why I never believed the Hammer rumors was because at first he was supposed to be Shazam, then he was supposed to be Green Lantern, and then now he's rumored for this. He's just like every DC role that seems to come up.
I think somebody at Warner Brothers wants him, and so they keep on. So they're the ones that keep on putting it out there.
I just thought it was somebody's obsessed with the Man from U.N.C.L.E. and wants to see them fighting again. So new Batman v Superman.
That'd be interesting.
I don't know.
When we get that Man from U.N.C.L.E. sequel, I thought that was a pretty decent movie. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but
I know, right?
Yeah, but I think just Hammer just has that superhero stature. He's tall. He's got that good jawline. He's got a good chin. And I mean, he's going to be.
And one of the things that I heard being thrown around during that whole thing is the people that were providing the Hammer news were describing him as Batfleck-esque or Ben Affleck-esque.
Yeah.
Or as a younger Affleck template. And so I think that's when it was still up in the air whether or not it would be a prequel.
They're like a half an inch apart. I know, I was pushing that too. I was like, hey.
Seriously, yeah, because Robert Pattinson looks enough like a young Batfleck to be passable. And seriously, look at those photos of Ben Affleck from the 90s.
Oh, no, I did that.
Where Matt Reeves' movie is supposed to be set. Matt Reeves' movie is supposedly set in the 90s, and lo and behold, he looks just like Robert Pattinson. It's eerie.
Mm-hmm. I don't know about I have a different nose for sure, but you could pass it up. He's got a good chin. He's got a good jawline. You know how I am with when it comes to Batman. I'm all about that chin.
I'm kind of done entertaining.
That was your only question. You had one question to Snyder, and you asked him about a goddamn chin.
I didn't have a question. I just
Spider-Man. God.
I wanted to make him laugh, and I did. That picture.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I know. That picture gets tossed around from other people. They crop me out, but yeah.
Your hand's there, and it's like,
yeah, my hand is there, and he's laughing, and I'm like,
Well,
oh,
like he hates Zack Snyder. I got this picture of Zack Snyder with Dave in it. I got to cut Dave out now.
Yeah, I know. Jesus Christ. I'm like, God damn, guys, that was a good moment. I know. Yeah. I get it. I get it, man. I suck. I regret it.
no.
But you asked some good questions. Yeah, I know.
Hey, you could have asked him about Spider-Man.
Look, honestly,
the fact that he said I appreciate what you do. When he told me I appreciate what you do, I fucking went, oh, what you do? Like, oh my god, you know?
Because again, like Colbert just said, like at least you didn't ask him about Spider-Man.
Yeah,
seriously,
or jerseys,
and honestly, and I look, and I don't
or the
understand.
Wonder Woman theme. Fuck that guy. Don't even get me started there.
Literally anything.
And that one guy, and by the way, like people have been like defending the guy, the Spider-Man guy on Twitter says, look, he was a nice guy. He was just caught up in the moment. He wanted to do a funny thing. No, he set up. Oh, this is a question that's been making the rounds on Twitter. He was setting up that he was going to ask about the Snyder Cut. And what does he do? He yanks Spider-Man. You do not defend that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he staged for that only to make people go, what the fuck? God damn. That was intense. That was intense. But
you know what I would have asked? You know what I would have asked Zach?
What?
I would have asked Zach, and I told
how
Chris
Amy looks in person.
This when he had. Well, we'll close. What I would have asked him, I would have started. Hear me out. I would have started with a question about BVS, and I would have led into the Snyder Cut like so. Okay, Zach, at BVS after Soups dies, we just saw it. It seemed like you were setting up a great, powerful, emotional bond between Lois and Diana, because like Diana's like crying over his body, then looking up at Diana. Diana sighs and turns away because Diana knows exactly what it's like to lose the love of her life, and he dies right in front of her. She's powerless to do anything. Did you was there any payoff of that in your version of Justice League? And will we see that anytime soon? # release the Snyder Cut, and the crowd goes wild. That's what I would have asked him. Not this nonsense
the really
about
frustrating
jerseys.
part is that he was like planning. He was like fully ready to, like, people are talking about like, oh, they got nervous and they sent people out of there. No, he was like anticipating like spilling the beans on the stage, and then like nobody said anything.
Yeah.
But I was told it was like, no, he was like expecting someone to say something, and we're all up there like, yeah. And
Dave knows my reaction after the shit. So
that was like, when we were in line. I mean, every time it got brought up, he would literally like crouch down, like in a catcher's position, like fuck, like oh my god.
Yeah.
And then I remember like we forgot what the other question was, and then I remember you remembered it was the Wonder Woman theme, and you were like almost threw your hat down.
Yeah, I fucking lost it.
Yeah. We were like, what was the other question that was asked that was like stupid? And then we couldn't think of it. And then all of a sudden it hit Matt. And then he goes, oh, it's a Wonder Woman thing. And he just crashed. Then he grabbed his hat. And I thought he was going to slam it to the.
This hat.
Yeah, that hat right there. Screw this, man. Yeah.
And then we find out that the whole reason for all that nonsense was because they were kind of pre-screening who was going to be asked a question that last night. Are you kidding me?
No.
Like this, it was the school that was doing that? I don't know.
Well, one of the reasons why it was so short was because they knew the line was going to be super long for signing and everything. And then, of course, he had to be on a plane early in the morning to start scoping locations for Army of the Dead. So that's why the Q&A was really short. It was cut short because of that reason. I mean, we were in line for what? Hour and 20, hour and a half? It was
something like that.
It was fucking forever, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, trust me. There's time I'm like, damn, I should have said this. I had questions in my brain. But then all of a sudden I was just like, I just want to make them laugh. And I just did that. It worked for the most part, but I know I should. I get it. I know, Matt. I'm sorry.
But I mean, at the same time,
thoughts on the jerseys.
You know, he has done more than Justice League, and I don't think obviously we all want Justice League questions and stuff, but like there's a part of me that's like, we're there. I didn't make it. Everyone was there to see other movies, and like I said, he was anticipating answering Justice League questions. He happily answered Justice League questions, but like, maybe also show him some love for Dawn of the Dead and Watchmen and Sucker Punch and all the other ones that he's done, because those are great too. And it's kind of frustrating sometimes how it's like Zack Snyder, as a Zack Snyder fan, I want to see Justice League Snyder Cut.
Yeah,
and I hope we get it soon.
But you asked that too, was to Larry Fong. Why wasn't he on Man? What was it you asked? Larry?
Yeah, why wasn't he the cinematographer for Man of Steel?
Didn't you also ask why there wasn't a director's cut of Man of Steel either?
That was Shane that asked that.
Shane asked that. That's right.
Yeah. Shane asked Snyder if there was any really extra scenes or anything that could be considered a director's cut of Man of Steel, and he said not really. There's maybe a couple extra minutes, wouldn't change anything.
People always bring that up, but he said, I think
a couple of things,
several occasions that the Man of Steel theatrical cut is the director's cut. And or maybe he hasn't said that specifically, but he said that he doesn't desire to release an alternate cut. I think a longer cut.
Nolan kind of kept everybody at bay. That's
exactly.
I mean, I've heard him in interviews talk about how the Krypton scene was like originally almost like 28 minutes compared to like 23 minutes. So it's like 4 minutes there or so or whatever. And but the one thing that sucks is that with the Justice League questions was hopefully the Snyder Cut question gets out of the way in the beginning of the BVS thing, because there's 100 BVS questions I would love to ask him.
Yeah. And nobody else on stage for BVS. Not only was the question shorter, but like there was some talent up on the stage that didn't get to answer any questions. And it was all questions like directed at Zach about it wasn't even non-BVS questions about Justice League. It was Suicide Squad and all sorts of other things.
Wonder Woman theme.
Which that's another funny one. Is everyone freaked out for however, a couple weeks and about how Steppenwolf and Parademons are supposed to be in Suicide Squad, and then he's like, oh, I don't know anything about that. Like like it's
what were you gonna say, Eric?
Yeah, I mean, as for Man of Steel, like as he said, like there's only as far as I know, there's only like a couple of minutes here and there. Like that shot of like Lois like escaping the FBI, like running out of her apartment, escaping the FBI. That was originally one long unbroken take. There were a couple of moments in where she's talking with Clark in the interrogation room, where she actually says, "How about Superman?" And then Clark like raises his eyebrow and kind of jokes about it, says, "A little on the nose, don't you think?" And then we saw this in the trailer where we hear the "excuse me," and then he tells Lois, "Excuse me," and then they start talking. But it's always a couple little things, but
yeah. Well, I mean that's just little tweaks in my opinion, because I think that works better.
What do you mean by a tweak?
Yeah. Whoops! Did I say that? No, I'm just saying like
you guys. I swear.
My bad. I shouldn't say.
No, I'm just fucking around, man.
Yeah, it's okay. No,
the buzzwords.
I think it just works better that way, where it's like instead of her saying Superman, the fact that it got cut off, I think that actually that's kind of like Snyder's brand of humor. Just like when Superman gets slammed to the construction sign that says no incidents after so many days. It's just so.
Oh, I love it so much.
Yeah, it's just something that's subtle, and that's what I think we always liked about his movies. It's like the humor is not just in your face. It's so subtle that if you blink your eyes, you're going to miss it. But once you see it, you're going to laugh. And I thought that was actually pretty well done.
A lot of the times it's natural.
Yeah.
Like Perry White and Clark in BVS. Like they cut all that out for some reason in the theatrical, but the lunch money one is one of my favorite jokes. Like just the fact that he says that, be careful when you go to Gotham, someone might steal your lunch money. That's one of my favorite ones.
We just recorded that for BVS by the minute.
Oh, yeah.
And I never paid so close attention to that, but the way Clark rolls his eyes after he says the lunch money thing is so, he's just so tired of, he's like, why? It's like, Perry, I could rip you in half. Why? Why do you always what's with the nagging?
Yeah, of course. And to
he's
this
got something
day,
for nerds.
I am so sure. Like you just know, Perry has got to know by the time of BVS that Clark is Superman.
Yeah.
And no one's going to tell me.
That was one question I wanted to ask Snyder too.
Yeah,
was about if Perry knew.
Well, I think during the funeral when he looks over, it's like you almost see it in his face. Like, okay. We know,
Yeah.
like, I mean, you put two and two together. And that was one of the things that always bugged me too when people would gripe about, oh, Lois already knows that he's Superman, like right off the bat. What the hell? And I'm like, Kevin Smith actually would always actually support that too. He'd go, this is Pulitzer Prize winning Lois Lane. You don't think nowadays, like, she would not know that this man with glasses is Superman?
And not only that, but we already have 12 CW shows. We don't need another story about someone's secret identity being unknown by the girlfriend and then her getting mad when she finds out. Like, no, just get that out of the way. Like,
Action, I think it's Action Comics, where he reveals that he's Superman. I have that issue somewhere. It was like 1992 or 3, I don't know. But it's like, nowadays, I that's what I actually love about Man of Steel is the fact that she knows right off the bat before she really even knows Clark Kent, before he joins the Daily Planet. And he has that nice little subtle thing. Planet.
I'm not a huge Superman reader, but I can't name a single moment of, oh, isn't it funny that she doesn't know he's Clark that I enjoy.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
Like,
they're animated.
like,
This is the man you love, and you don't know.
Yeah. And isn't it so ironic that there are these SJW feminazi critics who keep saying that Amy Adams, oh, she's useless. She's only a plot point. She does nothing but get saved, blah, blah, blah. All the other, Margot Robbie's, no, sorry, not Margot Robbie. Margot Kidder's Lois was much better. It was a much more empowering Lois than him. It's like, seriously.
Yeah, I loved the part where he was telling her the color of her panties. That was so feminist.
Jeez.
Oh yeah,
Seriously.
because Superman saving Lois is just so ridiculous. I mean, why is that a concept?
Or when they fly around and she thinks about the poem. That was so great.
Seriously. There are only, in all the different arc incarnations of Lois Lane, there are only 2 of them, Margot Kidder and Amy Adams, who were able to figure out Clark was Superman on their own, as opposed to having to have it revealed to them. Yeah, just the 2 of them. And of the 2 of them, only one of them did not need her memory wiped because she couldn't handle it.
Yeah, that was a weird one. He like kisses her and just wipes her memory. He had some interesting.
Have you ever seen the Robot Chicken version of that?
No.
Where he just starts kissing everybody, like Lex Luthor, everybody to forget that he was everybody, and then they all show up to the Fortress of Solitude with flowers and shit.
That's great. I know there was a lot. He had some extra powers in those early Superman movies. I mean,
that is actually almost in a comic.
What?
Actually, when we did research, he kisses him, but it actually knocks Lois out in the comics.
Christ. Tongues are like, ugh.
Yeah, dude, he fucking works it, man.
Wow.
Oh, hey, self plug here real quick. Shadow Vessel, BVS by the Minute is not on YouTube, but you can listen in a browser if you if you Google it, I think it'll show up in Podbean, or just check out the I think we post the links to Podbean on our Twitter account. So
if you have Android Shadow Vessel, I use an app called Podcast Republic, and that you can download it on there. I listen to it.
Yeah, or I use Pocket Casts or whatever. I mean, any podcast app you should be able to search it. So everyone, listen to my podcast. Thank you.
I would almost recommend putting it on YouTube, though. Seriously, imagine it would get a lot of ratings for that. You get a lot of subscribers for that.
I've thought about it. Yeah, I think I'm keeping it in my back pocket as I might go through and do it as proper videos instead of just podcasts with no. I've read a bunch of stuff that maybe YouTube isn't a fan of audio centric stuff, and plus it'd be cool to kind of flesh those out and include some video and descriptive images and stuff. So maybe like a future Patreon exclusive or something if we ever get around to that.
So someone actually posted a question here saying something awesome, spectacular. He put, do you think do you think Luthor designed the other heroes' logos so when the heroes became public, he could trademark them? This ain't the boys, man. I don't think so.
Well, although
you never know.
Oddly enough.
I would say that's WB being like, we have to really make sure people understand.
Yeah,
that's the Flash. This is Sideboard.
Although oddly enough, if you know the comics, after the death of Superman, Luthor does market his own team of superheroes. So it's not that far-fetched.
Yeah. Well, also that scene wasn't Snyder's idea. So there's also that.
No, I'm sorry. I don't mean to. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that. That's just my natural reaction to that.
But I never really had that much of an issue with it because it's all symbols that they're using already.
Yeah.
It's not that Loser didn't invent them. He just lifted them off of their existing costumes. Wonder Woman had the W already. I don't know about Flash actually, but Aquaman obviously had the A, I think, on his belt or whatever. Batman has a symbol. Like they've all got symbols.
Except for Cyborg, he's kind of a chunk of meat.
Yeah, that's true. So I don't know what was up with that, but
I think it's just like an aesthetic thing, just to let people know. It's like when Christopher Nolan fucking shoehorned that whole, hey, you should use your real name, Robin.
Yeah, there you go.
God damn you! Fuck that shit. God. Ugh. Everybody, goes, oh my god, Robin, and I'm like,
seriously,
really?
Would it have killed her? Would it have killed them to just allow them to have her say, that's a great name. You should use it, Dick Grayson.
Well, because that makes so much more sense that like Robin is less embarrassing of a name than Dick, right? So they're just like
Richard Grayson or something.
Yeah, exactly. It would be so easy to make a reference to that. That's a better Easter egg too, right?
Yeah, I thought
that his name is Dick, that his name is Richard, instead of like you should use your real name, Robin. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh man, the whole theater started cheering, and I just looked around like, seriously, what the fuck? What? No,
worst secret identity ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh look, there's Robin. Oh wait, Robin.
His name. Wait, what the fuck? What?
His name?
Good God.
That's a little narcissist.
No,
and people are busting Zack Snyder's balls over Martha. Seriously.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I know people still do that. I don't. Who knows? I don't know. But that scene, it's like, it was probably one of those things that, wow, this sounds really good on paper, and when you see the scene play out, I understand it. Trying to explain it to somebody that doesn't understand it, I got over that. I know there's still people that try to explain the scene, the PTSD and blah blah blah. It's like, no, just don't explain it to them. They're always going to use that to shit on the movie.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and 90% of the explanations that I see fans give are wrong anyway.
The PTSD thing.
I mean, that's like an element of it, but I think the one that I liked the most was Jay Oliva's, where it's not like he literally, when he said Martha, he was literally referring to Martha. He wasn't referring to he wasn't calling his mom Martha. He was literally using the metaphor to tell Bruce, you are killing Martha, your mom, because he would know.
The only reason why I've ever gone with the PTSD thing was because I actually have a brother that's in the military, and just like a single word or just the look of a mountain can just trigger something really odd and stuff in him. So that's the only reason why I've ever kind of like. I just describe a little bit to the PTSD.
No, I think the PTSD is a big part. It does. So when I say that they're wrong, I don't mean the PTSD is wrong so much as like their whole the whole like
called out on that.
Oh yeah.
No, but it's that the whole like, oh, he looked down and he saw that he had become Joe.
He's a PTSD denier.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is, Stephen. That's exactly what it is, Stephen. And I tell this to everyone. Look, it is not our mother's names are the same, so let's be friends. It's, if I kill this man and his mother dies, I will be no better than the man who killed Martha Wayne. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then
that's what Superman was telling him, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think it was an accident. I don't think Superman accidentally stumbled on the name Martha.
Yeah, because
you got to
exactly because Clark's a good reporter.
We're talking about this scene again.
Because Clark is a great reporter, and ever since that charity event, he suspected Bruce. And there is that scene, that snippet that we saw, that picture of where he's at his computer looking something up. I strongly suspect it's him looking up Bruce Wayne and finding a story about the Wayne family murder, and he's reacting to the names of the parents. Like,
that's what I
son of a gun.
I wondered if there was a cut scene where Clark actually like looks at the parents and they like do like a cut, looking down, and he sees Martha, and he's kind of looking at that, and then
exactly. And then keep in mind that he's awake when Bruce is going on about, I bet your parents taught you something, blah, blah, blah. Well, my parents taught me another lesson. They taught me the world only says. So he's awake and he's hearing this and says, wait a minute. His parents' death really is a sore spot to him. And I already know this connection. So he's deliberately invoking it.
Yeah. It's interesting. It definitely is. But yeah, enough about the Martha scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What, you don't want to defend it for another 30 minutes?
PBS podcast.
Yeah, it's pretty. I don't know. Let's. I just want to say, like, there's a lot of people in the chat. These lot of trolls in the chat who are apparently pretty obsessed with me. I know. Hey guys, I know that I am a attractive sort of fellow, and I'm glad that you think so. But I'm sorry, but these insults are not the way to get me on your good side.
It's the new camera, man.
Kidding.
It's it's the fact that they can see you so clearly now. They're like, oh my god,
so
you can't handle it. It's okay. It's okay, man. Don't worry.
I know.
Well, somebody
it's
called this a
flattering.
therapy session earlier.
It's flattering that it's flattering that they're all ganging up on me and attacking you guys aren't worth their time.
I know.
I get enough of it on Twitter. Don't.
No, we get enough of it on Twitter. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So
YouTube is great, man. We just got told we should go kill ourselves recently.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was really cool. And I told so that was.
Don't you love
cool.
how like we carry around these devices in our pocket that occasionally buzz, and we look at it and it tells us to kill ourselves? Like it's just like modern technology is so great.
Like you don't know anything about Marvel. You should go kill yourself. All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Sorry.
Cool. I told him to stop talking like that, or his mom was going to take the Wi-Fi away.
Yeah.
Fuckhead.
Like, oh, my phone is beeping. Oh, someone thinks I'm a fraud. Okay.
I know. There's like some of the stuff you got thrown into their seat. Like the least vocal. You know, when it comes to me and Garza, it's like we're the more vocal ones. You kind of just stay back.
Well, that's what's funny is like I've hardly said anything about threads that like I was tagged like in the top of the thread where it's like, don't believe these 165 threads being spread by SM Colbert. I'm like, I don't even say anything about it.
Even when did I say anything? And that's why I said, like, I don't even know where that number came from.
That's why I'm not bothered by these people that are like coming after me, because it's very obvious they don't read like anything I write or even follow me. They're just probably what's happening is they're in a group thread with someone else who is like trying to like stir up division and sending them our way. But like I get accused of saying stuff. My favorite is when they're like, go back to sucking Kevin Feige's nuts. I'm like, I don't like.
Dude, I've literally.
If I ever tweet about Marvel, it's usually like mocking the MCU.
I've had the accusation of I'm working with Jeff Johns and Kevin Feige.
Oh yeah.
Someone has put that on.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I know. I put on my ball cap.
I have had so many. I've had so many gay slurs levied against me that I'm sucking your dongs or something, and I'm like, dude, have you ever read my Twitter? Every third tweet is me gushing about Amy Adams. I'm pretty sure I'm as straight as they come.
No, yeah, you do have like a very disturbing crush on Amy Adams. Just kidding.
Oh, yes, I know. There's a shrine. I can kind of see some hair hanging off.
Right? There's probably something to the right. No. Got some candles lit and a bunch of pictures.
This is Pumbaa. It's not.
Yeah, no, don't. You got that scene in Talladega Nights where she gets up on the table and does her little hair shake on a loop. I know you do.
Oh, I wish. No,
that is. I can't believe you have that handy.
No, he just happens to be here. I don't know why. He just happens to be
here. Dude,
I
got a Pumbaa. Look.
Yeah. Did you see the new Lion King, by the way, Eric? Did you like it? Anybody?
It's funny.
I refuse.
It's funny because Lion King was the first movie I ever saw in theaters, and the fact that it's coming on its 25th anniversary and they did a live action remake, I feel old as heck.
Yeah, it does. It does feel. I don't know. I mean, that movie. I mean, I didn't enjoy it. I was like, okay, it was some cool visuals, but that was about it. All right, yeah. Steven, I guess he doesn't want to talk about lions. Jeez. No.
What'd you Steven, come on.
You know, somebody actually asked about the cuts to me anyway, and it was kind of funny because I feel like I keep seeing people talk about this 165 cut, and I've never seen anybody ask for it, but I keep seeing people saying they're against getting it. And I'm like, I think you're the only ones that are actually talking about it. I don't know. I'm not on Twitter enough to really even notice this shit, to be perfectly honest. But it's just kind of funny to me that I keep seeing all this, like, we don't want the 165 cut. And I'm like, I have never seen one person say They want the 165 cut. What are you talking about? I don't know.
When I put my poll out there, I just was wondering if you want. I just wanted to see if people wanted, if they preferred a complete shorter cut. I didn't even say 165. I didn't even know about that number until somebody sent me screenshots. I said a full, complete, shorter cut, and I was thinking 3 hours. So that's going to be like what, 180. And then I said, or an incomplete 214, or just all or nothing, like everything complete or nothing. And I don't know, this whole 165 thing just like all of a sudden just got thrown. I mean, it's the same thing with the 40 number. It's like I knew I even made a joke. I was like, man, all of a sudden I'm going to be the head of the 165 club now. And even like, I mean, I know Swenson was like one of the ones that talked about that too, and he feels bad that he brought up that, or something got brought up with that with his Twitter or one of his videos. But yeah, the 165 thing, I mean, I guess was Mark Hughes when he was hearing about a shorter cut that was 90% plus, which I also found funny too, was the fact that when Mark Hughes started talking about 90% plus complete, they were all celebrating it.
Can I give a quick timeline of events here? Because I got the biggest kick out of that.
So go for it.
So
the floor is yours.
So maybe I shouldn't say that because I don't remember what day it was. I think it was Sunday. Maybe it was Saturday.
I don't know what day it was, but I want to give a timeline.
Yeah, I know.
Wait, just like me.
Good timeline. Oh, take a drink. Oh, look at that. He's got the
All right. So
damn, I really need
over the weekend, sometime around that time, Mark Hughes is complaining about how everybody always asks him superhero movie questions in non-superhero movie threads. Yeah. And then he says, speaking of which, there is a Snyder cut.
I know, that was great. Because he was talking about Batman. He's like, I don't have any Batman information. But by the way, that's what I found out.
There is a Snyder cut. And it's 90+% finished. All right. And everybody goes off. And they're like, oh, he's working with Jay Oliva. He knows what he's talking about. The Snyder cut is 90% done. Eat that. And then Helen O'Hara published that article. And she's like, oh, it'll take 30 to 40 million. And everyone is all up in her mentions. And they're like, no, it's 90% done. That's less than 30 to 40 million.
And they're tagging Hughes at the same time.
Yeah, and then Hughes comes in and he's like, oh, I don't know about a 214-minute cut. I was referring to the 165. It's what, 245? I think 2 hours and 45 minutes, which is 165 minutes.
Yeah.
214
cut. And then everyone's like, oh, so the 90% is talking about the 165-minute cut, not the 214 cut. And immediately everyone's like, well, Hughes doesn't know what he's talking about. What do you get with 165? And people were, there was a bunch of people that were there was a thread that was going around. I got sent by a few people that was analyzing the cost to completion that leaned heavily on that 90% number. And people were like, oh, did you see this? And I was like, yeah, there's more to it. Just wait. That's not accurate at all. Well,
it might be. If they have the right time, if they have the right
it's accurate. It might be accurate to the 165-minute cut. The hilarious thing about that thread, first of all, I haven't seen it since Mark Hughes verified that he was talking about the 165-minute cut. The second hilarious part about that is that if you use the exact same math and extrapolate it to the fact that if there are 17 unfinished minutes in the 165-minute cut, that means there's 49 unfinished minutes in the 214-minute cut. And at the same cost per minute, that factors out to 37 million finish the 214-minute cut. 37. Which it's all bogus math, but the point is, like, it was bogus all along. But everyone was like, "Oh no, this is proof." It's like, no, like, and then the hilarious part, like I said, I haven't seen that 90% number since.
Oh no, because since.
Well, here's the thing for me that most people I think are kind of like skipping over because they're so focused on the time, the minutes, and everything. Was if Mark Hughes is correct and his information is correct, but again, as he's talked about his sources that he has. I mean, we could presume it's Jay Oliva, but
exactly.
Given
the timing of his change of tune,
right. Yeah, I think but sources for him have been incorrect, so I'm always taking a grain of salt here and there, either way. But if he is correct, that to me that makes it even worse that WB butchered the movie, because before you would think, okay, well, it's Zach left and he had it down to maybe some certain points, but we don't know that. As right now, all we know is he has at least one cut that's 214. That's the time we know anyway. He may have multiple 214 cuts. Who knows? But
copy.
But the thing is that means there is possibly a 90% complete movie that they had ready to go, some small tweaks, and they totally overhauled.
Wait, now when you say tweaks,
careful with that word.
No, I'm serious though. I'm being serious.
No.
There's very little work to do at this point. There's very little work to do.
Well,
and they really did take a damn near finished movie, finished movie, and chopped it to shit. That's amazing. That shows that is just completely insane that they did that. That makes it so much worse to me that there is that legitimate theatrical version. It's a theatrical cut.
Yeah.
And they just like, bring Johnson. Let's do this.
Well, because the narrative is that they salvaged it, right? That there is no one that the only cut is the one cut. Well, so they spent at least they say $25 million. Their math is always. I think I read that movie budgets are on an average undershot by like 18%. So like whenever you see like, oh, this movie cost $200 million, typically that's 18% less than it actually is because Hollywood accountants. But so it was like $25 million for reshoots, and the movie tanked. Imagine if they had just finished it as it was. And imagine it did the same at the box office. They just had finished as it was instead of doing all those backflips for what? like how did they improve their circumstances at all? It's just, and we've been over this for almost 2 years, and it's just it constantly boggles my mind that they were like, yes, let's CGI remove Henry Cavill's mustache in order to make a farce of a movie. Like if you think it's gonna be bad, just release it as is. If it's gonna tank, it's gonna tank. Like
it doesn't make sense. Like I mean, especially when the first scene is that. Yeah. Like who said, "Hey, okay, yeah, that's okay. Just fucking go."
I remember seeing the 25 million number, and I always thought it was 25 million just to try to remove King Stash, the mustache alone. Just that much money to try to rush it for the time frame they needed it. That's what I always remember hearing. I mean, I could be wrong. That could be incorrect as well. That's just what I remember. So then you got to do, that's just the mustache, what the reshoots. And then there was also like Gal Gadot was like pregnant. So there's a lot of, she had to wear like a green screen thing over her stomach and stuff. So there's a lot of work being done.
Oh my word.
Also,
which by the way,
she isn't even it's not even her most of the time in the reshoot. It's a body double.
That's right.
And so they've got her staged like way off by herself because I guess it's impossible to like CGI a face if she's like standing next to him. But it's like the framing of all the scenes is a nightmare because they've got her over by herself so that they can like CGI the actual Gal Gadot in. And then they just don't show her face like a bunch of the time too. Like I'm pretty sure like the Flash, like thank goodness for Gal Gadot, the Ezra Miller falling on the boobs, I'm pretty sure was on her body double.
Yeah, it was
not on her.
It was.
I mean, I can't help wondering if Joss Whedon had a fetish for this body double because seriously, you want to talk about male gaze? He was male gazing the heck out of that body double.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ, right?
Male feminist, my eye.
The fact that he recycled that joke from Age of Ultron is just very strange to me.
Jeez.
Very strange. And apparently from what I've heard too, and I remember it was funny because I went and dug into like old messages to people, and I remember seeing that like stuff that I heard was like the fact that when Joss Whedon was on set, I mean, he kind of was kept distance from certain people of the cast just because of his reputation. And I'm going, what the fuck? Whose idea was it to bring this guy in? And I remember supporting it too.
Yeah.
That's why, like,
I'll fully admit, when the poster came out and it said story by Joss Whedon, directed by Zack Snyder, I think I even tweeted out, it's out there so people can go find it and do whatever they want with it.
You don't delete your tweets, man?
I do not delete my tweets. Yeah, okay. Some people do.
Sometimes I do. But I'll say
and I was like, imagine outside of the context of this movie, if you saw this movie poster and you were like, whoa, written by Joss Whedon, directed by Zack Snyder, that's like the perfect combo.
You think.
Turns out
But that
Joss
was-
Whedon hasn't been able
that
to
was-
write anything good in a decade. But
Yeah.
yeah,
The first Avengers might have
I
been his peak. I think.
yeah.
That was the first sign that John Camp that was what John Campion kept saying. No, this is a great thing. You've got the visual skills of a Zack Snyder and the dialogue and character skills of a Joss Whedon. This is great.
Would be a fair argument if they didn't erase Snyder's visual flair.
That's the thing.
If
the fact
it
they-
were,
yeah.
it's
at the time, and
yeah.
God, was I
Except
wrong.
Zach was not directing. Zach was not directing Joss's writing. Seriously.
Can we? Is there something we can talk about that's not how they screwed up Justice League? like we talked about The Boys last time, right? Have you guys seen The Boys?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was editing just now was some stuff for The Boys.
You've seen The Boys, right, Eric?
I don't have Amazon Prime. I'm saving up for Netflix as it is.
Oh man. Why does it always seem
Man, how are you going to get Disney Plus, Warner's, HBO Max? I mean, we got to bundle our app.
I got to prioritize.
Well,
I got to prioritize.
Yeah, this is the way I look at it when it comes to streaming wars. Because I was a cable guy for 7 years, and I remember
cable guy. I'm sorry, all the quotes just shot through my head.
You don't even know how many times I had customers tell me like, "You ever get the cable guy thing?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And
but like you also, so I'm sure that you leaned into it.
Yeah, I did. I was
Billy.
with the customers. But it's funny too because when I watch that movie now, and when like he rearranges the apartment for better reception, that is so fucking not how it's done. You don't have to rearrange your furniture unless you have an antenna. But if you have a cable coming out of the wall, you don't have to do shit. It was that part is totally
I absolutely love movies when you are familiar with like whatever the industry is. I remember, and you'll get a kick out of this, Dave, because you used to do all the phone stuff. Do you remember the movie? Oh no, I can't remember. It was the one with Harrison Ford and Liam Hemsworth about the guy.
I heard it was horrible. It had
it was so bad.
Yeah, it bombed bad.
It was about Harrison Ford ran a tech company. Yeah, and Liam Hemsworth had to infiltrate it and steal the designs for a brand new phone. It was like as if he was stealing the new Apple iPhone.
Oh wow!
From under Steve Jobs' nose was like the idea, but it was kept in a safe on the top floor of a skyscraper. And I'm like every time there's a new iPhone, there's like people find them in like bar bathrooms, like prototypes that are like
prototypes,
and they're like, no, there's the prototype is in the top floor and behind a laser grid. And I'm like, look, there's like just Google like iPhone 10 or iPhone 11, and it'll be like, oh yeah, iPhone 11 found in the bar of a bathroom in Tennessee.
Oh, that happens so many times. Android phones.
Yeah, but again, I mean, I'm prioritizing because like my top priority as far as the streaming services are concerned is Netflix, mainly because of what Zack Snyder's about to give us. That 1-2 punch, Army of the Dead, and that Norse Gods anime he's doing with Jay Oliver.
Yeah.
Which I'm really looking forward to. I'm looking forward to who he's going to get as voice actors. He's got to get some great voice actors. I mean,
Gerard Butler's in there.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, so back to the whole thing where I was talking about the streaming wars. I mean, if you think about it, some people are like, man, I'm not going to just subscribe to all these different streams. But then I'm like, well, if you cancel your cable, because cable, you get like
streaming is replacing. Everyone treats that as a Hollywood alternative, but it's replacing TV. TV is going away, and you're going to have a streaming
bunch of channels that you don't want, and you're paying like $70, $80. So if you were to take all that, if you were to cut the cord, like they said, and then put it towards, a bunch of different various streaming services that are all around $10 to $12, it's going to add up, and you're going to get pretty much the content you want. And I knew it was going to go that direction when I was a cable guy. I even told customers, I'm all, soon you're just going to have a modem, and that's all you're going to need. You're going to just need a modem. And I even told my coworkers, I'm like, this job is going to get so much easier because all you're going to have to do is just install a modem. You're not going to have to install cable boxes and do all this shit. It's going to be great. And I was like, it's only going to get to that point. And sure enough, it's getting to that point. But the thing is, we're now going to have like a streaming war, and it's like, who knows what's going to come out with that?
Well, we'll see.
Well, and it's also funny because it's yes, there is a war element to it. So it's not that there's no competition.
There's a streaming
war in the same way that there's like
cable,
like a NBC versus ABC war.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
people are gonna start like, oh, I have to pay $12 for Disney Plus and $16 for HBO Max, including whatever each of them include. Like, yeah, that's totally fine. Like you said, you're gonna be paying less total than you would be with
a full-on cable service.
than like a full-on cable package.
Like
I haven't had a cable package in a decade, probably.
Yeah. It's like you're not going to watch the Cheese Network, you have that on your packet in your package.
Yeah.
It's like, no.
There's a fucking cheese network.
Yeah.
Just make that up.
I'm sure there is.
Seriously,
Okay.
That's like, oh,
it's just
cool.
like,
I was just like, what,
It's just
Wisconsin.
I don't know. Yeah, it sounds delightful. Watch it melt.
yeah,
Ooh.
it's I know. And
Queso
you're
fresco.
also paying for, and you're also paying for this nonsense stuff you don't want, because like, seriously, can't I just look, honestly, the cable companies could have averted all of this. They could have avoided all of this cutting of the cable if they had only said, you select the exact channels you want and pay a certain amount for each channel, and that's what you get.
Well,
But-
the irony is it's
they
the
don't do
exact
that.
same thing that happened with music. That in order to fight Napster, they doubled down on the old model, and everyone is like, well, fine, I'm just going to do it the easy way then. And then iTunes comes along, and they're like, oh no, we'll just do it that same way, and we'll just charge you per song. And then streaming, like Spotify comes along, and what happens? Like piracy like plummets because of that. Because people, it's not that they want it for free; it's that they want it easy. And so, as you look at something like Sling or like YouTube TV or whatever, those are all phenomenal cable package alternatives.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was partly the technology too, Eric, because certain channels, they run on different frequencies, and the technology just wasn't there where they can just be like, oh, you could just select your channels. The technology was never there. That's why they always grouped them, because each channel will be on like a different frequency, and then it would get on a different digital frequency. But now, what the hell was that noise? But now that we, nice. He's busting out. He's got the good sound and everything. I love that sound.
Yeah.
But that's
I like to record that and like just play it when I need like a stress reliever.
seriously. Oh, look at that. Oh, it's so good. That's so just nice.
And people say I'm noisy.
Right. No, but that was the reason
What
why.
if you like some
channels.
what's the ASMR? Is that what it's called?
Oh yeah, the fucking. Oh god, how do people watch that shit? Ugh.
If you put it, if you, I don't know. For some people, it like if I listen to it like with headphones, it like makes my scalp tingle.
What?
It's awesome. Oh yeah, it's like a physical sensation.
Oh my god, we just found Steve.
This is getting fucking weird.
Yeah, no, we're
You're talking about cheese and fucking physical
Hey,
sensations.
we can go back.
I-
We can go back to hey, let's compare shots in Justice League and argue about whether or not Joss Whedon or Zack Snyder shot it.
No,
How does that-
I'm not saying we have to go back to that.
Right.
I this quickly devolved very.
To
We
sound,
can go back to the
I don't-
boys and talk about all the
I
great like orgasm shots
Hey,
they
I
have
don't-
in that thing.
Hey, I don't need to go to any ASMR video. I just need to pull out my copy of Arrival and listen to Amy Adams' opening narration.
ooh,
Oh crap!
That's
Okay, I'm
ASMR
clicking off
right
that
there.
I'm
screen.
telling
You
you.
know what's crazy about that opening narration is that I that song reminds me every time of October Sky.
Mm.
The violin, is it a violin or a cello in Arrival? Like it reminds me so much of the October Sky theme, which phenomenal Jake Gyllenhaal movie that people don't talk about enough.
I know. That was I watched that movie in I think history class. Like my teacher was just put it on.
Yeah.
Just because he didn't want to fucking do anything, I guess, that day. But I enjoyed it because it's a good goddamn movie. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. That was back when my celebrity doppelganger was Jake Gyllenhaal, like in high school. Was that age Jake Gyllenhaal? Which like
You look like
no, I don't. Not like I don't say it. I'm saying that's the one that like people either that or like Elijah Wood. And I was like, no, not a
Hey,
like not at
people
all.
People have said that I look like Jeff Goldblum when he was in Jurassic Park. I don't see the resemblance, but whatever.
I know it's
Throw
the
your
I mean the glasses help a lot. I can
the
see
class
that.
too.
Yeah.
I almost want you to laugh like
Say must go faster.
yeah, let's go faster. Let's go faster. Eric, the next if that's the case, you need a pose like he did with your shirt open,
Yes.
like this. You know, you got the freaking chest hanging out. Yeah, I'm telling you.
Well,
Just post that. Not right now. This is a
well,
Nice shirt.
yeah.
Oh
Besides
no,
that,
we're getting some.
Yeah.
The chat does. The chat seems to agree that you've got the Goldblum.
Yeah, you do.
The
have
weird one that
Yeah.
I've gotten several times is Dave Grohl, which I've never seen.
Oh, well, that's wow. That's a talented man.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
Well, and my beard has never been like his. And people are like, oh, 'cause especially with long hair, like, oh, you look like Dave Grohl, but I not like. And I look at a picture, I can't find a picture that looks like me. I'm like, okay.
no, I don't. I mean, I guess I can kind of see it, but no. I've always gotten the Dane Cook and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, I can
definitely
see that.
Dane Cook.
Yeah.
A lot of people have said that they've gotten the Dane, especially when he was big. They're like, dude, you're like Dane Cook. I'm like, okay, you know.
I hate Dane Cook.
I know. I used to like him, but then I like after his first two like big specials, I thought he was cool, and then all of a sudden he just fell off. And I've heard things that he's like a douchebag behind.
No, I never would have guessed.
No, right? Yeah, I've heard so many
He
things.
seems like such a stand-up guy.
Right?
I get it.
Yeah.
Stand up.
Hey!
Oh, I didn't even.
But
I should have taken credit for that one.
everybody wants to always say that you look like film
I
god.
love it.
So there you go.
So my goal in life is for people to tell Film Gob that he looks like me. That's when I know I've made it.
That's
Well,
exactly.
let me ask you this, Steven,
Yeah.
let me ask you this. Is the reason for the beard just to make sure no one confuses you with the other Stephen Colbert?
No, because my ears lay flat to my head, so that's
And he-
never been a concern of mine.
Birds, so it's not.
It's good that you've examined him enough that you got the ear ratio down.
Yeah,
Shit.
exactly. Well, no, it's the one ear he's got. It's like,
Dude, isn't that weird? I've always
yeah.
noticed that word.
And it's just the one. It's the one. It's like a radar. Like,
Yeah. I
um,
always thought, did he have like a facelift thing happen or what? Or is that just normal? I don't know.
yeah, I don't know. I feel almost like he like trained it, where he's like he went to spend a lot of time in Second City in Chicago, and it's the type of thing to me. I don't believe this at all, but it's like a fun conspiracy theory that I can see like a young comic being like, I need that thing to set me apart. I know, I'll train my ear to stand out, like so that people notice me.
It's a gimmick.
Yeah, exactly.
And being like, what the fuck is up with his ear? I'm like, I didn't understand it.
All right.
I don't know. Why'd you
Well,
put
on the subject of resemblance,
Yeah. Are you
the
cold?
leather jacket.
What's
What's the leather jacket? Put
uh,
it together, Jeff Goldblum.
There we go.
Oh,
Leaning like this.
you're doing more Jurassic
Let's go faster.
in Malcolm. Look at him.
Let's go
Jesus.
faster. Let's go faster. Let's go faster.
Must go fast. Hey, he's doing the must go faster.
Oh man.
It's almost time to wrap
There's
this
not
up.
enough alcohol in this stream for this
almost
shit.
2 hours. We're almost on 2
Yeah,
hours.
it's almost two.
Yeah.
Hey,
All right. Well, but before everyone goes, if I may plug this
just
one
some final
thing.
words.
One thing. On Sunday, this Sunday, y'all, you don't know that guy on Twitter, Jacob Airy? Like, he's on the Daily Wire, and yes, Ben Shapiro is very pro-Snyder and pro-Snyder Cut. Jacob Airy is very anti-Snyder and anti-Snyder and so on.
Uh-huh.
Well, on Sunday, look, I've been on this one podcast a couple times, Fighting the Void, where I've been spreading the word about the DCU and Zack Snyder and the Snyder Cut, and they love me there. So the host of Fighting the Void this Sunday is hosting a debate between me and Jacob Airy.
Really?
It's on. It's on, boys. Place your bets.
And you're gonna
Fighting the Void.
You're gonna be debating about what Snyder and Snyder Cut and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
All that stuff. So I take it he's very left, far left, or what?
No, he's just the same site that Ben Shapiro is.
Oh
on.
yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
so he's conservative, but he
He's
doesn't like Ben Shapiro.
Well,
Wait,
I don't know. He works for.
He's
kinda
talking about
works
the
for Ben
Snyder Cut.
Shapiro.
Why are you going everywhere else? But he's talking about debating the Snyder Cut.
No,
He
they're
works-
all
he kinda works-
Nazis. That's
what it is.
He kind of works for Ben. He kind of works for Ben Shapiro. He just hates Snyder for some reason.
Oh, okay. So gotcha. So you're gonna be debating about Snyder Cut and Snyder movies. So
Oh
okay.
yes.
That should be interesting.
Place your bets, and I'll tell you something. He once was like trashing Snyder and all that, and I said, hey guy, and and he was going on about how Snyder fans do not have a clear defense, and all they do is attack. I was like, well, excuse me. And I posted links to my articles on Western Free Press about Man of Steel and Batman v Superman, these detailed defenses of those movies. I said, hey, Jacob, here's my defense. If you ever want detailed, rational defense, if you ever want to read them, and it includes the Martha scene and everything. And he didn't respond. What he did do was he made a new tweet where he didn't like at me or anything, but he said, if anyone says they want to defend the DCU and then they say they defend the Martha scene, I'm not interested.
Oh,
and then I said, but I found that out, and I said, Jacob, what do you have to lose? And he said, time. It's like, well, just read them whenever you get the chance. And he said, I might. But then a few months later, he then said, Snyder fans don't have any defense except personal attacks. I was like, Jacob. And then I just posted the links again.
What time is this?
I wonder if they usually do the broadcast with me at 9 in the evening, Eastern Standard Time. Fighting the Void podcast, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is when it usually is.
Where can people listen to it? I saw some people asking that. Where can they listen to it?
Exactly. It's on YouTube. The Fighting the Void podcast. But check your Twitter. Look at the Fighting the Void account on YouTube. Look, and they'll tell you exactly when. Fighting the Void.
What's the topic of the debate?
Snyder.
Just Snyder in general.
This guy doesn't like Snyder. This guy doesn't like Snyder.
So, like, what, good or bad?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Interesting.
So you're doing a Zack Snyder is good, change my mind, basically.
Yeah, there you go. He's doing a Crowder.
Yeah, pretty much. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Cool. Well,
got a mug.
We'll try to tune in.
Well, that's going to be interesting.
I might get one.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Yeah, see what happens. I'll tune in. I'll check it out. But yeah, guys, when it comes to D23, I mean, I'm going to be out there, and that's going to be interesting. I don't know how that's going to work. I mean, the Comic-Con thing didn't work out for me, but I think the D23 thing is going to be interesting to stand out there with a release the Snyder Cut sign and then just ask people, Marvel fans, essentially, what they think about that. What do you guys think about that? That's going to happen.
Be really interested.
I'm like laughing.
I find it's really interesting because the reaction in person tends to be different than like the reaction online.
Point.
You get some of the same, but I find that there's a much more muted like it's so easy to like for the knee jerk sarcastic response online, but on in person you tend to get more reasonable responses, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. What do you think, Matt? You laughed.
Well, no. I was just picturing you holding a sign and just trying to walk up to people and ask questions.
Release your Snyder Cut! And they're like, dude, I'm here to fucking hear about the
But I could see you doing a Crowder thing, man. Just have a little table, like a crappy little card table and stuff, and a chair.
Cool. That'd be cool. But, I mean, you need permits and shit for that. We're not going that far, but I mean, it's
do it in the middle of the street. That's public, right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
On the crosswalk, set it up during a red light, and then you have to move off during it.
Ask me about my wiener.
Do it on the sidewalk across the street. It works with the Jehovah's Witnesses. Why not?
Yeah, why don't people talk about Accepted anymore? That was a funny movie.
That was a
great movie.
Great movie. Oh, that's another person that I've been compared to too. Is Justin Long.
Yeah, where'd he go? Speaking of like, he's also
funny?
in
What's
nothing
funny?
anymore.
I always go, just watch Waiting. I've been compared to 3 people in that fucking movie. Ryan Reynolds, Dean Cook, and goddamn Justin Long. Just watch that movie. I'm compared to 3
Has
actors.
Justin Long been in anything since Zack and Miri Makes a Porno when he had that like cameo in that?
Well, apparently he's got the same cameo in Jay and Silent Bob. We saw that trailer. He plays the same.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Justin Long really hasn't been in much since. Yeah, you're right.
It's always weird to me because he was in the Mac versus PC commercials back when that was
right.
like
It was all
a thing people cared about.
Yeah, I'm Mac. I'm PC. Yeah.
But somebody put ask DC fans too at D23. I think someone doesn't know what D23 is.
Yeah. D23 is Disney. They're gonna have a Marvel panel, and me and
I'm sure there'll be DC fans somewhere.
There will be. That's the thing. It's like when you're
you're not allowed to be both. So
know,
if you're at D23,
when you're online, you can't be both. But when in public, that's why it's going to be interesting to see. Is to like have that sign that Justin has that he had at Comic-Con, and then just like talk to people. But we're gonna get it on video, and I don't know. It's gonna be the first time I've done like a man on the street kind of thing. So that's gonna be interesting.
Yeah,
we always wanted to do that.
Yeah.
We always wanted to do that when we came out of a movie, any comic book movie. We always wanted to interview people right then and there. But the thing is, we're old and we have to piss. So, so it never quite works out unless you're in the bathroom with us.
Yeah.
Right.
I was saying, as for D23,
that's awesome because everyone's always standing at the urinal for way too long too. It's like you're in the bathroom, you're like, who's gonna stand here the longest? Like, we all just drank a 32 ounce. Like,
yeah, because they don't make 40s
I'll
anymore.
piss you off.
Yeah.
I'll say this. As far as D23 is concerned, I'm just curious what Disney's going to announce because I've been hearing rumblings that they are finally going to announce the release date for the Enchanted sequel at D23. Which means finally.
Why would you care about that?
Yeah.
Well, mainly because
release the Enchanted sequel.
Frozen came out 5 years after Enchanted, and we're getting a Frozen sequel this year. Maleficent came out after Enchanted, and a sequel that nobody asked for is coming out this year. I think it's time.
Wait, what is the sequel nobody asked for?
Getting nominated for awards.
Maleficent.
Oh, okay.
Maleficent.
Yeah. That's fair.
That's getting a sequel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's seriously. As if you didn't crap on Sleeping Beauty enough, now you're doing a sequel to that.
Oh damn! The first one made 758 million worldwide. So
make it, man. They keep on making it, but for some reason, Dumbo.
How do these Disney live action movies make so much fucking money?
Dude, Dumbo.
Did you see the Marcuse
and Aladdin? Dumbo was better than Lion King and Aladdin, and it got the least amount. That just shows you.
Yeah.
Right?
It was the most different too out of all of them.
Yes, it was.
It was the least like the original than any of them, and it did the worst.
So Disney's gonna be making new Planets of the Apes movies, and so I tweeted about it. I said don't just reboot it. Don't continue the Reeves stuff. Just do your own thing. Like, of course they're gonna make more movies. Like they own the IP. I get it.
Yeah.
But just do your own thing. Don't continue the Reeves story.
Bring back Mark Wahlberg. I want to see that.
Yeah, he's like no, and someone responded and said "Oh yeah, I can't wait until Jon Favreau does Planet of the Apes in 2023." And I was like, "Oh no!"
Man!
No, that is too on the nose.
It is funny because I enjoyed Jungle Book. I thought that was great, but Lion King was just like no.
Well, and I love Jon Favreau too, but just like maybe no more of the CGI animals, man. Like do another Chef, please. Do 100 more Chef movies. I will watch. I will watch a Chef shared universe. Like that movie was amazing. Like just do that.
Just make another Swingers or something, please.
Or The Mandalorian. I'm really excited for The Mandalorian. It looks like the closest thing to like the original trilogy since Empire Strikes Back.
Right.
Which that's the Star Wars phrase, right? The best since Empire Strikes Back. It's like the most ubiquitous, non-committal.
By the way, Dave, it's funny that you said that the live action remakes that do the best are the ones that are most like the original. So, of course, they're going to cast Ariel the way they did and do a Mulan movie without songs and without Mushu.
Yeah. Sure. Well, hopefully those will go better.
Well, the Disney Mulan added the songs and Mushu. So, weirdly, Disney is actually going back to the source instead of their version for once.
Yeah,
it's good to know we can go to Colbert for our Mulan expert analysis.
But even then,
I'm tapped. That's all I know about Mulan. Is that I have given you all of my Mulan info.
Nice.
But I will say, there is a possibility that they'll still have the songs in some way because in the make like she says, "I'll bring honor to us all." So, who knows?
Yeah. Well, I think I remember reading somewhere that they will have them. I don't know. Hopefully, they don't have a lot. Like Jungle Book had like what, 2? Oh, okay, but Jungle Book had like 2. The 2 main, and I thought that was good enough.
Yeah, because I want them to keep bring honor to us all, and I'll make a man out of you. Just keep those 2 songs. That's all I ask.
Well, I mean, as long as they do that, I mean, the fact that Lion King
get down to business.
Can't You Feel the Love Tonight during the daytime, that was weird. It's like singing "Can You Feel the Love Tonight" and it's daytime. You guys put a fucking sunset.
And you know what?
I saw that clip. Did you guys see the videos of the people that animated the more cartoon eyes and stuff?
Yeah, it doesn't work. It's more Detective Pikachu than anything. I even did a video about that when I saw the screenshots for it. I'm like, would this have worked? And I went, no, this wouldn't have worked either. I think what they should have did was what Andy Serkis did with Mowgli, is have the actors do the mocap with their faces and kind of put the faces on the creatures to give it more expression. Because, I mean, the lions and everything are so expressionless, it's ridiculous. In Lion King, like, you just don't feel any kind of emotional impact. But if they had a little bit of the face of the actor on there, maybe it would have helped. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see the movie, but from the clips that I've seen, it's
the stampede scene where Mufasa dies and Simba goes, no, it's just literally a little lion cub going.
They leaned way too much into the realism.
That's going to be meme to hell right there. That shot, even like a blow up doll and stuff like that.
I mean, honestly, heck, they should have brought Andy Serkis to direct the darn thing.
Yeah, well, he's got Venom, so that's good. That made me excited for Venom.
I'm so looking forward to that.
I wasn't excited for a Venom sequel because I didn't really enjoy the first one, but now that Serkis is doing it, I'm excited.
Well, I did like the first one, but I am really looking forward to anything Andy Serkis is going to give us. And by the way, I would love someone, please do some fan art of Gollum in the director's chair directing Venom. Somebody.
Well, and now I'm curious also, the fact that they chose Andy Serkis, I'm wondering, like, we know there's more because there's going to be Carnage in it, right? And then there's going to be Venom. And so I'm really curious about what kind of mocap stuff Serkis is going to be doing.
His Ronald McDonald wig.
Yeah.
But going to be.
I'm really curious about if they brought in Serkis to do more.
That was almost as bad as the Robin thing in Dark Knight Returns. I was like, oh God, come on, guys.
Of all people, it's not just like. Not only did they cast him, but then they gave him the wig.
The worst wig.
Yeah, it was
history.
Yeah, hopefully they tame the wig a little bit, make it a little more. Well, anytime I see Woody Harrelson in a movie with a wig, it's weird. That's the thing. I mean, even like the new movie Midway, he's wearing a wig, and you see him for a glimpse. I remember I saw the trailer last night when I watched Scary Stories. They showed that Midway trailer, and he has a wig, where he has like a part. And it just always looks weird when Woody Harrelson.
And seriously, I'm surprised that Woody Harrelson is not sick and tired of being always cast to play psychos. Like, he was in True Detective where he's the good guy, and he's great, and I love him as the good guy in True Detective, but why is he always cast as psychos? Seriously.
I don't know. Zombieland, I mean, that's coming out. I mean, we love him in that.
Oh, yeah, that looks great.
Yeah, he's pretty cool. Yeah, the cowboy. He's cool as the cowboy in Zombieland. I'll give him that.
Yeah, even though like the joke at the end of the trailer was totally a fucking Shaun of the Dead kind of almost rip off. I'm just saying. That's just me.
I don't even remember. Well, so I guess maybe the trailer didn't hit me as well.
The trailer, they have like another version of themselves, like a mirror version of somebody else. There's like a shot of the Dead where they walk past like the mirror versions of themselves. And I'm like, when I saw that, it didn't process, but then all of a sudden I was like, wait, didn't Shaun of the Dead do that joke? Because they had like, it was just brief in the movie, but at the end of that trailer, it was like, oh, you got the like your mirror versions of yourself.
Well, but wasn't Thomas Middleditch? So
Jesse Eisenberg version.
See, and I love him, so like I'm totally okay with like whatever you need to do to get Thomas Middleditch in your movie. I'm down.
Just put the connection. I was like, Shaun of the Dead kind of did that. But I don't know. I'm sure it's going to be great. But all right, guys, let's end this thing. We're going over like 2 hours and 10 minutes here, and I appreciate you guys. Coming in. I mean, it always goes so fast. But I got one little drink left. I was nursing the shit out of this last little drink. Yeah. So cheers, guys. Sorry, Matt, you don't have a drink. Next time, come prepared, dude. But hey, I like that poster and that circle on that poster.
Yeah, it's authentic.
It is. It's awesome.
Not like Chris Wong.
What's the Batman on the film? It's the Datgum original.
Yeah, dude, this one I've seen this one on Twitter more than anything. It's pretty crazy.
Well, it's just like that shot of Snyder like laughing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's like our images are going all over the place without people knowing it's already.
Or just like the information that like originated with us is like people. The number of times that people are like, "Don't you know?" And it's like, "Yes, I published that originally."
Yeah.
like thanks for
I've
coming
had
to
people
educate
tell
me.
me-
Sooner or later.
I've had people tell me like, yeah, he put 214 on the poster. I'm like, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Fucking, I was there.
Pretty
I was
soon.
like, yes, I'm aware.
Give
I
it
have
time.
that poster. What?
I mean, give it time. Give it time. People are going to be lecturing me about, don't you know that Justice League 2 was going to end with Lois giving birth to a baby, and then she and Clark named their baby son Bruce? Yes, I was the one who figured that out.
Yeah, we all did. We have the shirt. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have Superman fucking jizz on our shirt. Yeah. Anyways,
that was my Zach. That was my Zach.
That's where we're gonna end. We're gonna end with that. With
I think we can't.
Super
we can't go any
sperm?
further.
Yeah,
That's a good way to end it.
You guys should look up Mallrats.
Why not?
It's line about how Superman and Lois can't have a baby because he blow a load like a shotgun through her back. Anyways, cheers,
Condom.
Which
It's a good little
BVS by implication refuted. So there you go.
You don't know. We didn't see how that scene ended.
Justice League also.
There's a reason
she's
why
alive. So there you go.
Yeah, no, it cuts out. I did that scene a few weeks ago.
You got a champagne glass? Man, you fancy motherfucker.
He's a fancy guy. All right, guys.
Let's go.
Thank you for cheering, clicking in, guys. Till next week. All right, talk to you later.
Yeah.
Adios.
Bye.
Ooh, good stuff.
Good stuff.
Boop.
Because I'm Batman.